with the BBC News, I'm Anna Preston. The World Health Organization says southern Gaza's biggest hospital is no longer functioning after a raid by Israeli forces. It's thought about 200 patients remain at the Nasser hospital with no power and not enough staff to treat them. A year since a former Metropolitan Police officer was sentenced for rapes and violent sexual offences, he's having his police pension cut by 65%. All the employer contributions are being removed from David Carrick's pension. He pleaded guilty to 49 offences and will serve more than 30 years in prison. The Deputy Mayor for Policing and Crime in London, Sophie Linden, made the decision.
I really do want to pay tribute to the women that came forward. That meant that somebody as dangerous as him is now behind bars, but also, really importantly, he is not a serving police officer. The moment he was found guilty of those offences, he was dismissed from the Metropolitan Police Force, and the Mayor was clear that we would take every step possible to take his pension away from him.
The government says it utterly rejects claims by the former chairman of the Post Office that he was told to delay compensation payments to victims of the Horizon scandal. Henry Staunton told the Sunday Times he was instructed by senior officials to stall payments ahead of the general election. A government spokesperson denied the claim and said compensation payments to postmasters had been sped up. 95% of farmers aged under 40 say poor mental health is one of the biggest challenges they're facing. That's according to a survey by the Farm Safety Foundation, which is blaming Brexit, climate change and isolation. 26-year-old Rebecca Wilson farms in Yorkshire and is one half of the Becca and Lizzie podcast, which discusses farming issues. She says farmers feel pressure not to talk about their problems.
For example, in my case, where it's a family farming business, if I was struggling, worrying about paying the bills, or, we have a problem with the sheep, I wouldn't necessarily want to burden my mum or my dad with the anxieties that I was having, because they're probably feeling the same as well.
A 9-year-old boy from Kent who had both legs amputated after he was abused as a baby is preparing for a potentially life-changing operation to allow him to walk without crutches. Tony Hudgell will have the surgery at Sheffield Children's Hospital in March. Here's his stepmum, Paula.
To one day be able to run, and hopefully this operation will give you that chance. With a lot of hard work, going to be an awful lot of physio and an awful lot of work over the next year.
The Prince of Wales has announced plans to build 24 homes on Duchy of Cornwall land to help tackle homelessness. In partnership with the charity St Petrox, Prince William said construction of the homes in Newquay would begin in September. And stars of the film world are assembling on the red carpet for tonight's BAFTAs. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer leads this year's nominations with a total of 13. You're up to date. It's 3 minutes past 4.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, here we go then. Another Three Counties Sport. It's Sunday afternoon, and what have we got in store for you today? Oh, it's good. It's really good. Luton against Manchester United in the Premier League. The last time these two sides met at Kenilworth Road in the league was in 1992. A bloke called Mick Harford got a goal that day. What can the Hatters do against one of the biggest clubs in the world? Full commentary on all frequencies this afternoon, and you can listen via your smart speaker on your laptop. Loads of ways to be involved today and listen to Premier League commentary of Luton against Manchester United. We'll be at Kenilworth Road in just a moment's time. We'll hear from Rob Edwards, and of course you are always welcome to be involved with the conversation. 81333, start your text with 3CR, or why not use X, formerly known as Twitter, at BBC Sport 3CR.
Every Luton game, live on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Loving it. What a day. What a day to be a Luton fan. Manchester United in town. Let's head to Kenilworth Road then right now and get team news from our commentators today, Jeff Doyle and Simon Oxley.
Yes, thank you, Luke. Good afternoon. Two changes for Luton from the side which lost here against Sheffield United last Saturday, and two former Manchester United players come in, Tahith Chong and Teden Mengi, pretty much as expected, with Reece Burke and Jordan Clark dropping down to the bench. So Thomas Kaminski in goal, Teden Mengi, Gabe Osho and Amari Bell are the three centre-halves, Chidozie Obene and Alfie Doughty out wide, Sambi Lokonga and Ross Barkley in centre midfield, Tahith Chong supporting Carlton Morris and Elijah Adebayo. On the bench for the Hatters, Tim Krul, Luke Berry, Cauley Woodrow, Issa Kabore Reece Burke, Pelly Redikampanzu, Jordan Clark, Andros Townsend and youngster Zach Nelson.
And Manchester United are the same team that beat Aston Villa last Sunday 2-1, and they're in good form as well, unbeaten in 6. They've won their last 4, so they have Andre Onana in goal. The back 4 is Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane and Diogo Dalot. The midfield 2, Casemiro and Kobe Manu. Then the attackers are Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, who'll just be tucked in behind Rasmus Højlund, who's in good form, and then Alejandro Garnacho is on that right hand side. United in a bit of form. It's a settled team as well, so Luton Town will face a bit of a challenge here this afternoon, Luke.
Let's talk about that team news then. So Manchester United, as it was compared to their last game. And what about the Hatters? No real surprises there?
No, I don't think so. I think, those 2 changes had been flagged up pretty much. Certainly Mengi coming back in. It's against United. He'll feel he has a point to prove, having been allowed to leave. It's a big occasion for him. He's featured in a lot of the pre-match build-up in the national papers. Tahith Chong has come off the bench to good effect in recent games. Always looks really cheesed off when he comes on, as if to say, I should be on from the start, not after an hour. So this is an opportunity to prove a point, basically. Rob Edwards will have said to him, look, you've been disappointed at not starting. So here's your opportunity. And Jordan Clark didn't get much of a look in against Sheffield United. Not that anybody did, really. That was just one of those things. It's still a disappointing result. It can be put to bed if they get something here, although the scoreline at Bramall Lane doesn't help really. Brighton have absolutely battered Sheffield United. I think, is it 5-0 it's finished, or it's very close to finishing? Admittedly, United have played most of the game with 10, but it just makes you think, that was a missed opportunity, but we can't dwell on it too much.
No.
They've got big games coming up.
No, I reckon Luton fans have dwelt on it, Simon.
I think they will. Yeah,
and it is finished 5-0. It is finished 5-0.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it just makes you think, that was almost a one-off from them, that they managed to put a performance together, and unfortunately it coincided with Luton not having a good day.
Yeah, well, I guess what it does is it makes, not that this game was going to be more difficult because of that result, but had Luton won that, it would have given them a little bit of leeway in this one. And they've got you understand what I mean? If they won that one, they could go into this one safe in the knowledge that they've got those points. And this was always... This isn't a free pass, as it were, but these were always going to be very difficult fixtures against clubs like Manchester United.
Yeah, they were. Sorry.
Yeah, it's an annoying one, obviously, because you'd hope that Luton beat the teams down near the bottom. But actually, I don't think the players will even be thinking about that now.
No.
They've moved on to this next game. And, Simon and I were just chatting. I think in the Premier League, it doesn't really matter if you're playing Sheffield United or Liverpool. If you don't play as well as you can, then you could easily lose the game if you're Luton Town. They've got to be right at it against any of these teams in the Premier League, and they weren't quite on it against Sheffield United, and they lost, and it was a Premier League game, and that would be similar if they did the same again against Liverpool, except it might be a bit more emphatic, and against Manchester United today. So yeah, annoying, but that one's gone, and now they've got to go and get results elsewhere. I still look at the table and think, are they close to a point a game? A point a game normally keeps you in the league. They're not that far off it. They're on 20. They played 23.
23. Yeah.
So yeah, if they can, after they've got this game, then they've obviously got Liverpool, which is going to be difficult, and then Manchester City in the Cup. But the next string of fixtures after that are interesting. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. 4 games where you think, right, go and pick some points up from that.
Well, funny enough, I want to talk about some of those other sides, including Crystal Palace, Forest, Brentford. But just while you mentioned Mengi, 1 or 2 paper reports saying that teams around Europe are looking at Mengi and what he's done so far this season. He's been a big part of Luton's success this season, hasn't he, Ted and Mengi?
It has. It's been a difficult season for the centre halves. Obviously, there's the Lockyer situation, and pleased to report he's here today as part of the television coverage and has given an encouraging interview from that point of view. So that's good news. But there've been all sorts of different formations played. Obviously, Lockyer involved early on. Mengi's been in there. Mads Andersen, who's now had a period out of the side. Reece Burke has come back to good effect. Amari Bell. That whoever has slotted in there has done well, and Mengi certainly has caught the eye with some of his performances. And obviously he has a pedigree, having been at United before, and other loan spells that he's had. And I guess he and others, he won't be the only one being noticed. And that goes for the manager as well, to be brutally honest. If they're not playing Premier League football, or even if they are next season, there will be potential suitors for various members of the staff.
Just to butt in, Luke, I hope I'm wrong here, but they're going through their workout, Luton, and Elijah Adebayo isn't out there. It's all the attacking players going through some sets, and he isn't there. And Woodrow at the moment is alongside Morris. I hope that might just be that he's in the loo or something. But they're all out there. So Doughty's crossing from the left, Obene's crossing from the right. Barkley's involved. So too is Chong. So too is Morris. And there's no Elijah Adebayo, which is a bit concerning me. But anyway, hopefully he's just having a toilet break. But can you see him, Si?
A conspiracy theorist, aren't you, Jeff? You're just thinking he's somewhere else.
Well, I hope so. But he's not out there at the moment, and everyone else is.
OK, we'll keep an eye on that. Chaps, back with you in just a moment's time. Let's hear from Rob Edwards then before we talk more about Luton Town. They're at home to Manchester United this afternoon, of course. Hatters up against another of the so-called Big Six teams, although, just about six at the moment with Brighton winning and trying to catch them up. Let's hear from manager Rob Edwards.
Our aim, long term, as stupid as this might sound, is to try and be mixing it with those big teams. So I think we've done well in certain areas, but we know we've got to keep improving and working hard as well to keep the back door shut. So we know we're a threat, we know we can score goals. We're going to be coming up against World Cup winners and top players as well. So it's we've got to continue to work really hard and doing what we do to create chances. I think stats will show that we've been fairly ruthless given the sort of chances that we've created. That's good, that's got to continue, but I'd like us to be creating more and more big chances as well. So it's not all perfect at all. We're still a work in progress, and we've got a lot of areas that we can keep improving. But that does give us confidence. You're right, it's good that we can score goals. You've got no chance of winning games if you can't.
Rob Edwards there talking ahead of the game this afternoon. From a Manchester United point of view, we'll talk more about Luton in just a moment, but just from a Manchester United point of view, they're in sixth place. They've still got to, turn things around to a certain extent, 3 wins on the spin, but they've got to go to a certain extent to break into the top 4, haven't they?
Yeah, just to break off, it's confirmed he's out, Adebayo. He's injured himself in the warm-up. Right. So Woodrow, I think, is going to play.
Yeah. Right. Woodrow starts, and I believe they've not confirmed it yet, but Dan Potts is going to come up onto the bench.
That is a blow, Luke.
Massive blow.
Because Adebayo has been in really, really good form, causing a lot of big teams huge problems. We're talking, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, all really struggled to cope with him. And it hasn't been those two together up front for a long time. Morris has kind of joined him in the past month or so. He was causing problems on his own, Adebayo, with whoever was kind of playing behind him. So it might be that Morris now is that kind of focal man, and Woodrow plays slightly behind him. But that's a really annoying blow. Injured in the warm-up, so annoying.
And it just throws all your preparation, doesn't it? Absolutely. At this stage, you've done all your warm-up. They've had a full week of preparation, all your set plays, and he's pivotal at both ends of the pitch because of his height in terms of set plays, Luke. That's a massive loss.
Really is a big loss, and we'll bring you any further news on what the situation is with Elijah Adebayo, but that's a real blow. At this late stage, you can prepare, when you know at the beginning of the week, guys, that there's going to be a player out, you can prepare because all your training is based around that player coming in, isn't it? So, it's a big job falling into the hands of Cauley Woodrow.
Yeah, and like you say, for Cauley Woodrow, he's not expecting to play today.
No,
He will have done all of his preparations, and he'll know the tactics, because they'd have worked on the tactics all week, and he would have been privy to it. But he would have been kind of, the one waiting maybe to take over from either Adebayo or Morris once they'd gone through all of their little set routines and patterns of play, etc. So he'll know all of them, but he wasn't expecting it. The first thing when he woke up this morning was, I'm going to be on the subs bench, and now he's in the team against one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Luton just confirming that officially now. The club have confirmed Adebayo has picked up a knock, replaced by Cauley Woodrow. Dan Potts will take Woodrow's place on the bench.
Okay, thanks for that info, guys. And just going back to Manchester United, obviously, and the question I asked just before you gave me that news, they really do have to continue to pick up points, because they're at risk of not really doing anything this season. They've got to try and force their way into a top 5 at the very least, and at the moment they're 6 points away from Spurs.
Yeah. I mean, they will be viewing it and thinking, let's finish 4th, I think. So I think they'll be looking at Aston Villa in 4th,
yeah, definitely,
who are 8 points away from them.
Yeah.
But they are in this good run of form, United, and there's a bit more of a settled side about them now that, particularly now that Casemiro is back. It just gives them, a bit of stability in that central midfield area. And of course, Mainu has been a sensation this season, the 18-year-old. But yeah, they've just got to keep winning, and I think they would come here expecting to win the game here at Kenilworth Road, and knowing that these type of matches they have to win if they are to try and push into one of those top 4, top 5 positions.
The reverse,
they're a funny one, aren't they? I was going to say, sorry, they're a funny one, aren't they, United? It's either lurching towards disaster, or actually they might get in the Champions League. It's a really, really odd situation, and not being in the Champions League is is awful for them. You look at their pedigree and where they've come from, but others have caught them up and gone past them. So yeah, they'll be looking at it as a must-win, I'm sure. I'm
just talking about other teams in the Premier League and looking at the results yesterday. And like I've said to you before, guys, I spend half my time looking at the Premier League table and working out if, whens, hows, buts, and whats. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Brentford. They're the sides that Luton will be looking to try and drag closer to them. Well, Forest won yesterday, Brentford lost, Burnley lost. It's there's positives and negatives with the results elsewhere, but Luton fans will be looking at all those results.
Yeah, they will be, and it's interesting that Rob Edwards keeps saying their goal is to finish not above Everton, because they're concerned that Everton might get some points back. So he wants to finish above 4 teams if Everton are below them as well, just in case Everton get some points back. He wants to almost take that out of the equation. So Luton are now looking to get ahead of either Crystal Palace, who obviously are in the doldrums, Nottingham Forest, that was annoying that they won, and Brentford, as you say, in 25. So that is the challenge. And then, best case scenario, Everton's points deduction remains, and can you imagine how choking it would be for Luton to finish 4th bottom and think they'd stayed up, and then Everton get a reprieve and get some points back, and that puts Luton in the relegation zone. That would be,
or they might even
have a nightmare.
They might even have points out, more points.
Yeah, frankly, the whole way this has been sorted out, the whole way this has been dealt with, for me, I think that any professional body, organisation, clubs don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're playing for. No. It's not right. There must be a better way. I understand that clubs have got to get punished. I totally understand that and accept it, and rightfully so if you do something wrong and there are punishments for it. But get on with it. Get on with the punishment.
It's inconceivable that we could get to the end of the season and beyond and still not know who's gone up and who's stayed. Who's stayed up rather and who's gone down.
Yeah.
It's just madness. But I think from Luton's perspective, they've just got to carry on and even assume that Everton will get the points back and go from there. But yeah, Forest might get points deducted. That was annoying yesterday. Good time to play West Ham and Palace. Palace are going to change manager. Obviously we wish Roy Hodgson well, but they're clearly going to change manager for whatever reason, and that might work, it might not, doesn't always. So they could, and of course, as Jeff was mentioning, Luton still to play here against Forest and go to Palace. So big games.
OK, good stuff. Chaps, let's hear a little bit more from Rob Edwards then. Full match commentary, of course, if you've just tuned into Three Counties Sport, full match commentary on all our frequencies this afternoon across Beds, Herts and Bucks. Digital radio, all our FM frequencies, and as an added bonus, if you fancy listening on your smart speaker or laptop, you just head to BBC Sounds. You can listen to the whole game live today. So just activate your smart speaker. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say those words in case it does start it off wherever you are, in the house or in your car, whatever. But activate your smart speaker and just say play BBC Three Counties Radio, and you'll be able to listen to Luton in all its golden glory this afternoon. Three Counties Sport. Let's hear from Rob Edwards then. Luton Town versus Manchester United. Rob Edwards talking tactics with Jeff Doyle.
We haven't played two up front since the third game, I don't think, so it's really interesting that you asked me that. It's good that we can keep people guessing then. Just because we play sort of two classic number 9s, if you like, it doesn't mean we're playing with two strikers. So I like that side of it. It's good to keep people guessing.
During the week, you've had a week's build-up. When you go out on the grass, does your mind change, you and the coaches, as to how you'll go about taking on Manchester United? Just talk us through that process of during the week, and then actually, should we do it this way instead?
I think we've got a pretty clear way of doing things now, so we know how we're going to try and attack the game. Personnel can sometimes change throughout the week, and we think who's it going to suit more, what spaces might be available to us, who we might need to press in a certain way or to track back in a certain way. So personnel might change a little bit more rather than tactically how we're going to go about things, because I think we've really settled on a way of playing now that suits us. And like I said, it's not always going to get the right result, but I think it gives us the best opportunities to do that. So it's more personnel, I think, throughout the week, especially when you've got 8 days to plan for it. It's that's probably the biggest thing throughout the 8 days.
Has the split changed as to how can we hurt them to how do we stop them from now to when you first started at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. We'll always start with our out of possession. We'll always start with our press and how we're looking to try and win the ball back as high as possible. But then off the back of that now, I think it's given us more opportunities to work with the ball and how we can try and hurt the opposition as well. So yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
So there we saw Jeff Doyle taken to task and slightly mugged off by Rob Edwards, and then told it was a very good question. You got the two sides of Mr. Edwards there, didn't you, Jeff?
I did, yeah. I'm not having it though. I'm not having it. But I know what he's trying to say about those two, Elijah Adebayo and Carlton Morris. But I mean, you listen to any manager after the game when they play Luton, and they talk about the two up front that caused us problems. You know, okay, Morris might play slightly deeper, but come on. And do you know what? I think it annoys him that the managers say that afterwards. Oh well, you know, they caused us problem with the two lads up front, and I think that he thinks perhaps that's a bit disrespectful that they're still being perceived as a long ball side. So I think that's why he likes to throw that one in. That Morris is maybe someone's saying that he's like a false 9. All right, yeah, he's a false 9 then.
As soon as he said that, I laughed out loud watching that one. Right, well, I'm going to hand to you guys very shortly, but just before we do, let's just talk about this fixture historically, Simon. I mean, there's some great statistics when you look at the meeting between these two sides. I said at the beginning of the programme, these sides met in a league fixture last at Kenilworth Road in 1992. It was a 1-1 draw. Mick Harford got the goal. That's the only point they've got in the last 10 league matches against Manchester United. They've not got a great record against the Red Devils.
No, they haven't. Of course, they lost up at Old Trafford in November 1-0. That was still in the phase where they weren't, they were being more defensive and looking to not concede as many, and perhaps nick one on the break. They didn't seem to have the confidence to really go at United at Old Trafford, and United weren't brilliant either, to be honest. Hoyland was very quiet. He's livened up a little bit since, and they needed a goal from Lindelof. And as you mentioned, April 92, just before Luton were relegated out of the top division. United did come here in 2020 in the League Cup and won 3-0. But of course that was played behind closed doors because of COVID. I mean, 1 or 2 survivors on both sides from that game. But yeah, it's not always been the way of things that they picked up points against Manchester United. Although United did, often find it difficult in the, in the glory days of the late 80s, as so many did, of course.
Absolutely that. And Jeff, just before I hand to you and Simon for full match commentary this afternoon, I have to say I'm exceptionally disappointed in myself. I set myself a little task with the fact that there is a certain Mr. Styles at Kenilworth Road this afternoon. I set myself a little task of cramming in as many of his titles without anyone knowing in the first half an hour, and I only managed 3. How pathetic is that? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And you didn't even get him watermelon sugar. I mean, how did you not get that one? And that's the simplest, isn't it?
That's how I'm going to hand to both of you. I could hand to you in that way. Some of his other songs are Sweet Creature. I'm not sure I'm going to hand to you with that.
No, don't.
But there's also one called Little Freak, which I might hand to you along those lines. I'd imagine he's caused a little bit of a stir. He's a big figure, Harry Styles, very popular, and kind of one of the things that happens when somebody like that turns up, that there's a little buzz goes around the ground and everyone kind of knows, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to hold Simon Oxley back because he was desperate to go and get a selfie with him.
He's terrible.
I just thought, don't do it.
I thought, who's that with Rob Stringer and Gary Sweet? He's dressed a bit odd, isn't he?
That's why he's here, of course. For people who don't know, Rob Stringer, director of Luton Town, is his manager. He's his music manager.
Sony Music. He was sat next to him when he won all his Brits. Oh, listen to me.
Yeah. So from LA to Luton, where would you rather be, Los Angeles or Luton?
Oh, absolutely. I've heard he was clambering to get Simon Oxley's selfie. That's what I've heard. Harry Styles was. He wanted a bit of that.
Listen, he's hiding at the moment, Harry Styles, because we've got Justin Dealey on the case. So Justin is trying to track him down as we speak. So he'll be hiding somewhere in the boardroom, I dare say.
Watch this space. Chaps, great stuff. Right, let's hand to our commentary team. They're there, I'm here. Here we go. It's Manchester United at Kenilworth Road with Jeff Doyle and Simon Oxley.
Yes, thank you, Luke. Good afternoon, everybody. The sun just setting behind the main stand over on the far side away from us. We're on the gantry in the Bobbers stand. Our new vantage point for this season, just shielding our eyes from the sun on what's been a chilly, at times overcast, at times wet Sunday in Bedfordshire. But the sun is shining brightly as Luton Town and Manchester United come out onto the pitch here at Kenilworth Road. Whether your United era is Rooney and Ronaldo, Beckham and Scholes, Best, Law Charlton, or even the immortal Duncan Edwards, a fixture against Manchester United is one to treasure. And now in 2024, the eyes of the footballing world are on us here this Sunday afternoon in Bedfordshire. The press list reads like a meeting of the United Nations Assembly. They're here from across the globe. And back in June, when the fixtures came out, this was certainly one to circle. It is, Harry Styles or not, the hottest ticket in town. You could say it is a sign of the times. Luton against Manchester United here on BBC Three Counties Radio. And the build-up dominated not by Harry Styles from a Luton Town point of view, but by the desperately disappointing news that Elijah Adebayo is ruled out with an injury picked up in the warm-up. So Cauley Woodrow starts and Dan Potts comes onto the bench. So in total then 3 changes from the side which started against Sheffield United. The original 2, Tahith Chong and Teden Mengi, coming in for Reece Burke and Jordan Clark. So the Hatters will line up with Thomas Kaminski in goal. Teden Mengi, Gabe Osho and Amari Bell, the 3 centre-halves. Chidozie Obene and Alfie Doughty out wide. Sambi Lokonga and Ross Barkley. Tahith Chong, Cauley Woodrow and Carlton Morris. On the bench, Tim Krul, Luke Berry, Issa Kabore, Reece Burke, Pelly Radakampanzu, Jordan Clark, Andros Townsend, youngster Zach Nelson and Dan Potts, who comes in onto the bench because Woodrow steps up to replace Elijah Adebayo. What a blow, Jeff Doyle, that is, because I mean, if nothing else, you've set up all week with Adebayo as absolutely a focal point at both ends of the pitch. He's so key defensively as well from set pieces and attacking wise as well.
Yeah, and he's in such good form. That's the real shame. It's not as though, you know, he's been in and out or not, you know, being okay as a player. He's been one of the star players in this last 6 weeks or so, maybe even longer, the last couple of months. Adebayo's almost the first name on the team sheet. He's that crucial to Luton, and he's caused some top defenders all manner of problems, from Manchester City to Arsenal to Chelsea to Liverpool. He's really been good, not just balls in the air, but balls to his feet. He's kept possession really well. His touch has been excellent. They haven't been able to get the ball off of him. Really a blow for Luton, and it's up to Cauley Woodrow to now go out there and be a top replacement. We'll see. Can he play at this level, Cauley Woodrow, from the start? It's difficult because a lot of these players have had a lot of Premier League games now, so they've adjusted, whereas Woodrow's been in and out of the side, mainly as a sub. He's played some of the cup games, but this is Premier League against Manchester United. It's a big, daunting task, but it's one that he's got to try and embrace.
So we're about to get underway then. Manchester United are unchanged from the side which beat Aston Villa last Sunday at Villa Park by 2-1. Erik ten Hag names the same team. Run through it for you in a moment. Same subs as well. United all in white. Luton orange shirts, dark shorts, orange socks. Playing from left to right as we sit here in the gantry in the Bobbers stand. They're attacking the Oak Road end, Luton, in this first half. Referee is David Coote. He blows his whistle. We are underway, and Ross Barkley straight away coming forward for Luton into to Heath Chong, who's dispossessed, and United bring the ball forward now down the right-hand side. Coming forward early over on that far side with Garnacho. He loses possession, and Barkley swings it out to this right-hand side to Obene. First run for Obene at Luke Shaw. Obene gets his cross in, headed away by Casemiro. Morris heads it down for Barkley. Barkley and Woodrow rather getting in each other's way, and the referee was in the way as well. United clear, and Amari Bello has given it straight through to United. Here's a chance for the opening goal, and it's scored by Rasmus Højlund. Amari Bell with an awful mistake, trying to get it back to Kaminski, has presented it on a plate for Højlund, and we've played 45 seconds and Manchester United are in front. Luton, we said, had to be at their best. No mistakes, no errors, and they've made one in the opening seconds and presented it on a plate to the informed Danish striker, who slots it past Kaminski. Rasmus Højlund. Luton 0, Manchester United 1.
I feel for Amari Bell. I mean, that is a awful mistake at any level. I don't care, it could be Luton playing in the National League back in the day. If you do that, you're probably going to get punished. You do that against Manchester United, and there's no way, in the form that he's in, Rasmus Højlund, that's 6 in 6 now for the Dane. He's not missing that. It's an awful one. I know what he was trying to do. It was a cushion volley back to the goalkeeper for Amari Bell. 99 times out of 100 he'll do it, and this one time he hasn't, and Højlund is easily going to finish that.
Luton in possession, but stunned by that early goal, stunned by the loss of Adebayo in the warm-up, stunned now by that opening goal from Højlund. They find themselves a goal behind here at Kenilworth Road. Amari Bell plays it forward for Doughty. Doughty down the left-hand side for Luton. Into Chong. Chong left edge of the penalty area. Chong going to the byline, gets his cross in, overhits it, and it will bounce out of play on this near side. So United then, Onana in goal, Dalot, Varane, Maguire and Shaw at the back. Mainu and Casemiro in centre midfield. Garnacho, Fernandes and Rashford supporting Højlund. The subs by India, the goalkeeper. Lindelof, Amrabat, Eriksson, Diallo, Anthony, Evans, McTominay and Forson. Referee, as I've mentioned, David Coote. It's Luton 0, Manchester United 1. That opening goal from Højlund after, well, I made it about 45 seconds. Awful mistake from Amari Bell. Shaw plays the ball forward. Osho tussling with Højlund, heads it away, and it comes off Ted Mengi and out of play on this near side for a throw for Manchester United, which Rashford will leave for Luke Shaw. And immediately United are settled, aren't they?
Yes. And Amari Bell needs to get himself sorted out, because that's going to play on his mind. The whole world's watching this game, and he's just made an absolute huge error, and he's got another 89 minutes to get through this.
He's come across and made the challenge on Mainu and has conceded the corner on this near side. It was a good challenge on the young midfielder, but it span off Amari Bell and out of play for a corner for Manchester United. Rashford has ambled over to this near side to us, the left-hand side for United. Luke Shaw in no particular hurry to take it either. Just swapped a word or two with Rashford, and Luke Shaw to deliver. Remember, now Adebayo to help the Luton Town defence here, as Shaw whips in the corner. It's knocked down by Casemiro. Still Casemiro in there, and it was Lokonga who hacked the ball away. Comes back out to Shaw, who whips in another cross and headed away by Obene. Chong then clears up towards the halfway line. Bruno Fernandes is there, and Fernandes plays it across to Kobe Mainoo. Luton 0, Manchester United 1. Opening exchanges on this Sunday afternoon. Garnacho now up against Amari Bell. Rolls it to the edge of the box. Rashford with a first-time shot. Takes a deflection blocked by Kaminski. Didn't know too much about it, Kaminski. The deflection helped, I think. Had it not been deflected, it would have been in from Marcus Rashford. But the little deflection just guided it through towards Kaminski, who makes the save. Morris now keeping it in over on the far side, but United have it straight back again. Here's Garnacho. Down the right-hand side, Fernandes gets his cross in. It's blocked by Amari Bell and spins behind. And Kaminski, I don't think, knew much about that.
It's a great save. It's a great save. I was just expecting it to go in. Rashford rarely misses from that range, just inside the penalty area. It was teed up for him. It was a perfect ball.
Just got a little touch, I think.
Yeah, and luckily it went straight at Kaminski. He still had to pull off the save, but Luton have got to sort themselves out. They're in all sorts of bother at the moment.
Fernandes to take the corner, right-hand side for Manchester United. 5 minutes gone. United already 1 up. Could be more. Fernandes swings it in, headed away by Barkley at the near post. Kept in on this side by Garnacho, who finds Shaw. Shaw drills it back into the box, away by Doughty. And it'll bounce out of play on this near side, just inside the Luton Town half. The left-hand side for Manchester United. Rashford leaves it for Shaw. So United in front after 45 seconds. And pressing at the moment, looking for a second. Fernandes with a little flick to Rashford. Rashford back again towards Fernandes. Good tackle by Lokonga covering across, but United first to it in midfield at the moment. Luke Shaw cutting inside, flicks it forward. Dummy run from Fernandes. Fernandes gets it back again, and Gabe Osho comes across and makes the challenge to concede the corner. Osho and the Luton fans behind the goal think it should be a goal kick, but it was a great tackle by Osho to stop Fernandes.
Yeah, Luton are really concerned with United here. United are very confident. They are oozing confidence out there. That seems to be affecting Luton. They're not pressing aggressively like they normally do. They're holding off them, and that's allowing United to play.
So another corner then. Luke Shaw to take it, left-hand side, clips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked away by Carlton Morris. Volley, and then that's deflected in by Højlund. Garnacho's volley, and it's hit Højlund and gone in. And the goal is being given at the moment. It may go to VAR, but as things stand, it's 2-0 to Manchester United. Garnacho's volley seemed to be going wide, and it hit Højlund. Now, whether he's turned it in or whether it's just hit him, I don't know, but they're certainly claiming it. VAR will have a look, but at the moment there's no suspicion of offside. We're getting another look here on the screen. Could be 2-0 to Manchester United as the corner comes in. Garnacho volleys it, and then it hits Højlund off his chest, and he's being played onside.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's onside.
Looked onside to me.
It's 2-0, and it's another one for Højlund. And that's after just 6 minutes. I mean, that one is unfortunate for Luton, but it's presence of mind from Rasmus Højlund to just chest it back into the mix, and it ended up going in.
Yeah, but Luton are disorganised. I don't know whether this Adebayo situation just has seen them. I don't know, they look so disorganised for a Hatters team. They look out of sorts completely. Whether the preparations have really hit them with that late news of Adebayo, I don't know, but have started really slowly.
Luton 0, Manchester United 2. I think everybody just stopped and thought it must be offside, but we see it again. He's been played on, I think, by Barkley and probably somebody else as well. He was going well wide from Garnacho, and it just struck Højlund. And, well, credit to him, and he did make a move towards it, didn't he? It didn't just hit him.
No, but, you know, is someone going to mark him from that set piece? That's just a second phase. Luton just keep giving the ball back to Man United at the moment.
Obene went down there, felt it should be a free kick. The referee's not interested. Here's Rashford, back to Fernandes. Fernandes back to Luke Shaw. Luton 0, Manchester United 2, when we've only played 8 minutes at Kenilworth Road. BBC Three Counties Radio on this Sunday afternoon in the sunshine. And Manchester United have stunned Luton. Rasmus Højlund with an early brace here. Luton without Elijah Adebayo, if you're just tuning in, injured in the warm-up. Here's Tahith Chong now, out to Woodrow down the left-hand side. Woodrow plays the ball back to Alfie Doughty. Doughty onto his left foot, sets off away from Garnacho. Still Doughty, clips in the cross to the back post towards Obene, goes over Obene and walloped upfield by Rashford, and that'll go through to Kaminski, who chests it down midway inside his own half and finds Osho. Osho out to the right-hand side to Mengi. United all of a sudden sitting deep, but they're 2 up.
So it's the mistake from Amari Bell is an absolute killer for Luton in the first minute, 40 odd seconds, and he goes and does that, and then you are massively struggling. A goal down after less than a minute. I mean, against Manchester United in good form.
Lay off by Woodrow to Lokonga, back to Ross Barkley. Barkley cuts inside, still Barkley, flicks it forward to Morris. Back again to Barkley. Barkley forward to Woodrow, who's beaten to it by Maguire, and now breaking forward is Rashford. Rashford with Maguire still ahead of him, but Rashford may go it alone. Rashford with a shot, and it flashes just wide. And Rashford, fortunately for Luton, a bit greedy there, because he had Garnacho to his right and Hoyland to his left, and went for glory, the England international. If he'd have teed somebody else up, it would be 3-0 and good night.
Yeah, got to get tighter, got to get closer, got to mark better. They're not doing the basics at the moment, Luton. Very unlike the Hatters.
Here's Doughty down the left-hand side. Clips the ball forward for Chong to chase after. Chong giving chase, but Varane is there to get it back to Onana. And the Cameroon keeper clears left-footed over the halfway line. Cleared by Osho to Barkley, who finds Doughty down the left-hand side. Doughty coming forward, rolls it into Chong, edge of the penalty area. Still Chong, back again to Doughty. Doughty onto his left foot, clips in the cross too high for Morris, headed away by Maguire. Garnacho will try and keep it in, can't. It'll be a Luton throw level with the edge of the United penalty area. Here's Barkley, but United just sitting now, and if they win it back, they'll just break quickly. There's no need for them to really put the pressure on now with this 2-goal cushion, and yet we've only played 10 minutes. Lokonga for Luton to Mengi. Mengi all the way back to Thomas Kaminski. Luton 0, Manchester United 2. Amari Bell, what a mistake that was in the opening seconds, and they did it against Sheffield United as well. It's not the first time it's happened. They weren't punished a week ago because McAtee fired his shot wide, but they could have been 1 up in 40 seconds as well, Sheffield United. Here's Lokonga clipping it forward, looking for the run from Obene, who got a little flick on it but can't divert it past Onana. Better.
Yeah, better. Good ball through. He probably was trying to bring that down, Obene. It was a high one that he was trying to just control on the volley, unable to do so. Just flicked off of him. Luton are going to have to start putting some challenges in, and that's better, even though it's a foul from Bell. Luton have been too passive. I'm sure manager Rob Edwards will be annoyed that his side are just holding back a little bit. You just almost can't do that against these top sides. They've got to play the Luton way.
Well, the player who was caught there by Amari Bell is Garnacho, who has stayed down. I think his laces have snapped, or that's the message that's being sent across to the dugouts on this near side, or to the bench anyway. But he seems to be okay, the Argentinian, and there's no need to change his boot either. But it will be a free kick to Manchester United, back inside their own half, which Casemiro drives forward, but that's straight through to Kaminski, and something of a waste there from the Brazilian midfielder. Luton 0, Manchester United 2 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Amari Bell up towards the halfway line, finds Alfie Doughty. Doughty back inside to Bell. Bell plays it forward to Woodrow. Woodrow, little touch out to Doughty down the left-hand side. Doughty, though, loses possession to Garnacho, and here come United again. Quick interchange of passes. Mainu down the right-hand side, holding off Doughty. Mainu skips away from Doughty as if he isn't there. The youngster back inside to Garnacho. Garnacho onto his left foot, but straight at Kaminski. And they're looking as though they could score every time they come forward.
Yeah, playing really well, United. Luton, yeah, they're out of sorts. Mate, I was just watching Mengi there. Luton have got a line of defenders, and Mengi's about 5 yards behind all of them, which just means that it's playing everybody on side. So United could have actually played it through down the right channel there and been in because Mengi was keeping them all on side because he's worried about Rashford.
Casemiro now to Højlund. Højlund lays it off to Fernandes, intercepted by Barkley. Nearly gives it back again, but Luton keep it now with Chong. Chong breaking forward. Doughty available to his left. Not a great pass from Chong. Doughty gets the cross in. Chong with his back to goal, turning now with a shot. It takes a deflection. Morris with a header and pulls one back for Luton. Carlton Morris. Goodness me, Luton are back in this. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Perseverance from Tahith Chong and Carlton Morris benefiting from the deflection as it sat up inside the area, got there bravely ahead of Onana to head Luton back into this. 14 minutes gone, Luton 1, Manchester United 2.
Well, United then just left themselves open, didn't they, like Luton have been doing? Really unlike them, and Luton have capitalised really well. Chong initially did brilliantly, didn't he? It looked like he should have set it back to Barkley because Barkley was on the edge of the box all on his own. I thought, just lay it back to Barkley and Barkley can strike from the edge of the area. Instead, he had his own shots. It looped up in the air, and Morris isn't going to miss from there, is he? Brave got there ahead of Onana and just headed it past him. Game back on again.
Well. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Long clearance from Onana, flicked on by Højlund, and it'll go through to Kaminski. Well, Luton have kept pushing, but they've not. That's the first real opportunity of any sort inside the penalty area.
Yeah, that's the first one.
They've got balls into the box, but that's the first one that's really paid off. And that's maybe the route forward. Balls into the box to feet, I think, because there's no height from Adebayo there. Now Doughty's lost it again, and Manchester United look to break quickly, although Luke Shaw back inside his own half now. Now Casemiro down this left-hand side looking for the run from Bruno Fernandes, and it goes out of play. Fernandes is furious with Casemiro and is letting him know that he wants a better pass down that left-hand side. Rashford was there as well. But it'll be a throw to Luton. Right-hand side, Obene to take it. Midway inside his own half, Chidozie Obene. All of a sudden, Luton back in this. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Obene with a throw down the line to Morris. Morris lets it run to Woodrow, who's thrown off the ball. Almost a judo throw from Harry Maguire. And the referee eventually gives it as the assistant intervenes. Barkley plays it across to Amari Bell. Bell over the halfway line, out to the left-hand side to Doughty. Doughty cuts back inside. Doughty inside to Barkley. Barkley back to Lokonga. Lokonga finds Teden Mengi. Mengi just over halfway. Mengi goes back to Osho. Osho under pressure from Højlund. Goes back to Kaminski. Kaminski clears upfield, right-footed, but beyond Tahith Chong. And that will bounce out of play. Well, they needed to get back in it, and they have managed to do that. Although, goodness me, I mean, United could have been 3 or 4 up, but they're back in it now at 2-1.
If ever they needed a goal, it was then, wow, because they have been under the cosh. But that gets them right back in it. That's been a bit of a story of the season, hasn't it? Luton almost defying the odds when it's looked like, oh, this is going to be a long afternoon, this, judged on that opening 10 minutes, and then suddenly it's 2-1 and they're back in the game.
It's been a recurring theme of that's Woodrow going to be booked for blocking the free kick from Maguire. Needless booking, just move back out of the way. He's just standing there. Maguire runs up, kicks it against him. Of course it's going to be a yellow card. He could have got out of the way there, Cauley Woodrow. Wasn't taken quickly by Maguire. So first yellow card, and it goes to Woodrow. Woodrow in because of Elijah Adebayo picking up an injury in the warm-up, if you're just tuning in. And that certainly unsettled Luton from the get-go. But they're back in it now at 2-1. Højlund flicking it on towards Rashford, headed away by Mengi. Mengi's clearance, not a particularly good one. Dalot swings in across, high up to the back post. Mengi trying to flick it away. Mengi again challenging with Rashford. And Obene then is fouled by Rashford. Petulant from Rashford, who felt he'd been fouled by Mengi, and takes out on his frustration on Obene. And some referees might have shown the England man a card there.
Yeah, a bit lucky to get away with that one. He was annoyed with the first challenge, a little bit late. Obene flew himself on the floor, but yeah, that's a 50-50 probably call for the referee as to whether it was a yellow or not.
Decided against it. 18 minutes gone. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Højlund with 2 in the first 6 minutes. Carlton Morris has pulled one back for Luton. 3 Counties Sport on a Sunday afternoon. We're on all frequencies, digital radio, FM, Freeview Channel 720, plus online via BBC Sounds in the UK. So good afternoon to you, wherever you're listening, to what has been a quite extraordinary first 18 minutes, to be perfectly honest. Not the best in terms of defending, but the entertainment is there. Now Barkley's lost it, but won back by Amari Bell to deny Hoyland, and Barkley has it again for Luton up towards the halfway line. Rolls it forward to get Chong in behind, Dallow with him, but Dallow will get there first. Good covering across from Dallow, the Portuguese defender, and now room for another Portuguese, Bruno Fernandes, to surge forward over halfway. Still Fernandes trying to flick it inside to Mainu, tackled by Lokonga. Fernandes wins it back to Maguire in towards Hoyland, who tried to tee it up for Fernandes, but Barkley intercepts, and now Tahith Chong can break forward again. Chong, though, crowded out by white shirts, gives it to Hoyland, back to Garnacho. Fernandes on the overlap, Garnacho trying to thread it through, great block from Amari Bell, and Luton can surge forward themselves now with Obene. Obene flicks it past Shaw, who then rugby tackles him to the floor, pretends he didn't, and picks up a yellow card, Luke Shaw. Because he knew Obene was away and passed him.
Rob Edwards is annoyed with Tahith Chong there, saying you cannot turn over possession in that situation with yourself in your own half, and then you've got players around you playing a back pass and you're not finding an orange shirt, giving them the ball 60 yards out and your team's out of shape. Really annoyed with Chong there.
Well, that's a good thing that Shaw's picked up that booking, because surely now that's the ball, isn't it? Obene every time. Take him on, he's on a card, he won't do it again. Or if he does, he's off. 20 minutes gone, Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Barkley to take this free kick then, everybody back for Manchester United. Barkley with the free kick for Luton. He'll take it right-footed, drills it in, flicked down by Osho, who's always going to struggle to get anything really meaningful from there. He was on the edge of the penalty area. I think he was supposed to be heading it goalwards. It turned into more of a flick to the back post, but it goes straight out of play. But it's a bit optimistic to be heading it in from the edge of the area. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there. As the TV pictures give us a quick glimpse of Mr. Harry Styles, who's here today, and looking on now as United come forward again. This is Dallow, who's broken forward. He's inside the penalty area on the left-hand side. Tees it up for Bruno Fernandes, tackled by Barkley, and then Chong is bundled over on the edge of the box by Mainu, and that'll be a free kick. And they've got away with that a bit, Luton. Yeah, Harry Styles sitting between Rob Stringer and Mick Harford. But if Mick's got all his albums, I'm thinking probably not.
Mick's probably asked him, what do you do? Mick Harford and Harry Styles. Yeah. Who would have ever thought it?
Indeed. But that's where we're at. It was and is the hottest ticket in town. And he's providing entertainment. Not necessarily the best sort of entertainment. In many ways there's been some shocking defending, but Luton are hanging in there. 2-1 down. Osho plays it forward. That's an awful pass straight to Casemiro, and United have it back with Maguire. Maguire breaking forward finds Shaw. Shaw will, I think, go all the way back to Onana. Does so. Back to the goalkeeper, all in yellow, closed down by Woodrow. Support on that right hand side from Dallow. Now Casemiro, shepherded out of play by Bell, and plays it against Bell, so that'll be a throw to Manchester United. Far side away from us, in front of the main stand on the United right. 22 minutes gone. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. BBC Three Counties Radio on a Sunday afternoon. The sun just setting behind the main stand opposite, as United prepare to take the throw. Over on that far side with Dallow, taking his time over it. The right back throws it to Fernandes, who hooks it forward first time towards Hoyland, and that will go all the way through to Kaminski. Well, quite a first quarter. Jeff will take you through until half-time.
It's never dull, is it?
No.
This Premier League lark, it's never dull. As Barkley picks up inside his own half. Trailing 2-1 Luton, but they're pretty fortunate just to be one down. Here is Morris. Morris picks up and goes backward. Just got caught there by Casemiro, who says that Morris has made a meal of that. But I think he just caught him a bit. Doughty receives the ball. Doughty crosses in early and is headed away and out of play over on that far side. Luton now just beginning to get into their stride. They've had their 15-minute wobble and they seem to be out of it. But they're still just making one or two little errors for my liking that they need to start cutting out. Here's Barkley, little flick and a good one to Chong. Chong picks up, goes backwards to Doughty. Doughty swinging this one in, good run. Morris there. Morris heads wide and he just couldn't quite get over the ball there and so head the ball down. It was just slightly too high, but again, good from Luton, better. Here's Shaw now for United. He's been booked. Shaw down this touchline for Fernandez. Fernandez is going to get there ahead of Mengi and did spot that Kaminsky was a long way off his line, but that was optimistic from that angle from Fernandez. Bruno, and that goes out of play behind goal for a goal kick to Luton Town.
He was just looking to see. He was slightly off his line, wasn't he? And plus Garnacho was arriving at the back post, but he couldn't do either shot nor get a decent cross in.
Doughty has it in the left-back position for Luton. Up towards Chong it goes. Casemiro gets the challenge in. Then Doughty challenges Casemiro. United win it back, though, and play it forwards up to Hoyland, who scored 2. Garnacho has it now, the 19-year-old. Garnacho just prods it down the line to Dalot. Dalot just has to go away from goal and go backwards. And it's going to get crossed in now, edge of the penalty area. Obene is there, and Obene needs to deal with it. He does. And he plays actually a good ball up towards Woodrow, who controls on the chest and just needs to lay this one back, which he does. And Doughty goes backwards to Bell. Seems a long time ago when Bell made that opening mistake. Needs to be careful here. Just about gets himself out of trouble. Then Morris gets past Maguire. Good burst of pace from Morris. Now he feeds Obene down the right. Shaw's been booked. Obene can't quite go round him. The pass was just ahead of him slightly. Obene still has it though and is forced backwards to Lokonga. Lokonga now to Barkley. Shoots, say the crowd. He tries to cross in Barkley and it comes off of Rashford and drops down to Fernandez. Fernandez is going to play it forwards to Rashford, who's continued his run. Mengi does well and goes backwards to Kaminsky. Kaminsky takes the touch and gives it to Osho. We've got a real game on our hands now. There's nothing in it after United dominated the opening 10-15 minutes. The Hatters have sorted themselves out. Here's Doughty now. Doughty just nudges it forwards to Chong. Chong exchanges passes with Barkley, who gets it back again. Snowy, they call him, Patrick Barkley. So cool because he settled at Luton quicker than Snow does. Seems an odd nickname for Barkley, but there we go. As Luton fans appeal for handball, and it's been given against Dalot down the Luton Town left-hand side, and Doughty can probably swing this one in from the free kick. 2-1 Manchester United lead, but it's been a good response after the ropey start.
Yeah, that was a decent ball in a moment ago from Doughty as well, which Morris couldn't quite get over, but it was a good cross into a dangerous area. Well, it was into Adebayo territory, wasn't it? But Morris did well to get something on it. But they are coming forward with a little bit more purpose, and they, as you say, just got to cut out. It's giving the ball away, and Casemiro's looking really strong in midfield, winning his tackles.
Free kick Luton. Down that left-hand side, Alfie Doughty to take it. 26 minutes gone on BBC Three Counties Radio. Doughty, 2 arms go up in the air. In comes a cross, looks a good one. There's Mengi, heads up in the air, still inside the penalty area. Obene just chests down. Chong picks up. Here's Lokonga now, 40 yards out. Lokonga plays it into Mengi. Mengi goes back to Lokonga on loan from Arsenal. Now to Barkley. Barkley has it for the Hatters. Just trying to get the ball and find some space. Eventually passes to Doughty. His cross is blocked. This is going to be a throw-in to Luton Town. If you are going to nip out, you can always listen to this online on your phone, your smart speaker this afternoon via BBC Sounds. If you live in the UK, it's online today as well as on digital radio and all of our FM frequencies. Here is Osho. Osho to Bell and Bell to Barkley. United just again holding off of Luton, and the Hatters will enjoy that. Ball with Mengi, and Mengi now to Obene. Obene just nudges forwards to Morris. Morris trying to get it back to Obene, but Shaw has sussed that one out, and Onana clears first time. Up towards Hoyland, and then it's played into midfield, and Fernandez is away. Bruno Fernandez just clips it out to the right. It's asking a lot of Garnacho, but he will get there against Bell. Garnacho versus Bell. He heads to the byline, still has it as the youngster. Goes backwards to Hoyland. Hoyland gives it back to Garnacho. Into the penalty area still. Garnacho trying to get it again, but Lokonga is there and he's stronger, and the referee has already awarded Luton Town a free kick for a handball. Hatters fans unhappy.
Yeah, Hoyland went down, just slipped, I think. But I think the fans feel he was trying to get a penalty, but I'm not sure that he did. It was so blatant, it couldn't have been possible, really. I think he just slipped. Mainu got caught late on as he got rid of the ball in that build-up. Might have been by Barkley. He's a bit fortunate to escape a yellow card, actually.
Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Simon Oxley and myself, Jeff Doyle, with you. Here's Gabe Osho. Osho out to that left-hand side, and Bell to Doughty. Doughty tries to play it down the line to Chong. It comes off of Dalot. Throw into the Hatters just beyond the halfway line in front of the director's box. Thrown into Chong. Chong backwards to Morris. Morris picks up, and Morris gives this one to Mengi. Mengi now to Obene. Obene beyond that right side and the touchline. Here is Morris, good skill from him. Morris then gives it to Chong. Chong now backwards to Barkley. The referee has just been getting in the way of Barkley once or twice in this first half, as Chong now feeds it to Doughty. First touch was a bit heavy from Doughty, but he'll get it again, and Alfie Doughty still has it now. Up against Dalot, goes backwards to Barkley. It's good pressure from Luton. It's all the Hatters at the moment. United are playing a bit of a risky game, just dropping off, almost as though they don't think that Luton are going to score against them, but I would suggest that that's a fairly risky tactic against this plucky Luton side. Rob Edwards just trying to organise his players, using instructions as this ball is played up towards Woodrow. Doesn't quite stick with Woodrow, and then he fouls Maguire, and it's going to be a free kick. He's done okay, Woodrow. They've sort of flitted in and out.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He just left his foot in late there on Maguire. It's clearly a foul, and he's already been booked, of course, for getting in the way of that free kick. So he has to be careful, Woodrow. It was a lovely turn a moment ago from Carlton Morris. Left Casemiro on his backside. Absolutely did him all ends up, but then couldn't quite get it away to Tahith Chong.
Frustrated foul that one as Barkley just dispossesses Maguire. Barkley has it. He'll give it to Woodrow. Woodrow's going to shoot first time. It gets blocked, and that was a chance for Luton. Maguire took a quick free kick, and he didn't want to pass it to the one he did because it was Barkley. I wonder whether Barkley might go himself. Instead, he's fed Woodrow, and Woodrow's shot was blocked. Could they have done better there, Luton?
Yeah, Barkley's furious, isn't he, with himself, I think. I think it might have been better just to go it alone, and perhaps then his pass to Woodrow sent Woodrow too far out wide, and he couldn't really get too much of a shot away. He did get the shot away, it was blocked, but he had to sort of adjust. It wasn't into his path.
On his weaker foot as well. It's a bit clumsy that. Here's Doughty's corner kick for Luton. Far post, free header, and Osho's headed wide, and he'll be annoyed at that. That is a big chance, and Gabe Osho knows it too.
That's another great opportunity.
It's a free header.
It is, yeah. That's, a real one off the training ground, because they all run to the near post. Leaves Osho absolutely free header. He doesn't even get on target, does he? He's well wide as well. Big opportunity. That's two big opportunities to equalise. Barkley knows either he should have slotted it in or got a shot away, or set Woodrow up much better, and then Osho's got to do better from the corner.
Even the strike from Woodrow wasn't quite crisp enough either.
No.
It's on his left foot. He just delayed a little bit as well. Perhaps might have thought about cutting inside and hitting it with his stronger right foot. Anyway, the chance has gone. It's 2-1 still to United, but they've hardly attacked in this last 5-10 minutes or so, as Kaminski has the ball at the moment inside his penalty area. Lokonga flicks forwards to Morris. Is that a foul? Maguire on Morris? Yes, it is. And Maguire's having a bit of a tough old afternoon against Morris, who's playing very well indeed. Carlton Morris.
Yeah, it's more responsibility on his shoulders, Morris. He's captain as well, of course, but in the absence of Elijah Adebayo.
Scored his 7th goal of the season with that header on 14 minutes. Here's Barkley, little Cruyff turn Barkley against Manu. Lots of talk about Manu being in that England squad, and if he is, then that probably means that Barkley won't be, as Morris is fouled there by Casemiro, who loves a tackle. He loves a foul as well, and he's produced another one there against Morris, who is causing them huge problems at the moment.
Yeah, that was another ball pinged into the mix, wasn't it, from out wide by Doughty, and Lokonga played a pass out from the edge of the area. There's a few in the crowd who'd rather it was just safety first at this stage, rather than trying to play their way out from the edge of the penalty area.
32.5 minutes gone. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Here's Manu out to that right-hand side, and Garnacho Garnacho goes backwards to Dallow. Dallow takes a chance against Chong and doesn't pull it off. Doughty feeds this to Barkley. Barkley now down that left-hand side for Chong. Chong heads towards the penalty area, pulls it back, and it gets a deflection, and Onana's going to pick that one up. Needed to find the right pass there, Chong. Quite a good ball in the box, but Man United had bodies in there and got it back.
Dallow slid in just to deflect it back to Onana. I'd be shouting for that as a back pass, to be honest. I mean, he slid it back with the intent to get it back towards the goalkeeper, but nobody did. But it's good covering from him.
Here's Dallow now, right back, plays it forwards. Doughty heads down. It's with Amari Bell. Good skill from Bell. Gets away from Garnacho, then carries on, then runs into Casemiro. Casemiro is shown a yellow card, and he falls to his knees and cannot believe that he's just been shown that yellow card. Casemiro, rather theatrically. We've seen him do it quite a few times in his career. Casemiro, brilliant footballer, 30 years old. Real Madrid, 70 million, and he's got a yellow card.
There's contact there. We've just seen it on the replay. Clearly catches Amari Bell. I think that's an accumulation of, that one on Morris a moment ago, and there have been a couple of others as well from the Brazilian. So he can't have too many complaints.
Free kick to Luton. Been a good response from the Hatters, who were 2-0 down after just 6 minutes. They were 1-0 down after about 46 seconds. And they've been pulled back by Luton, but not level. It's 2-1. There's a free kick here though, which Alfie Doughty is standing over on that left hand side. He'll swing this one into the penalty area as Manchester United win it. It's going to drop down. Here's Obene to Chong. Chong on the right hand side. Chong backwards to Obene. Obene's going to clip this ball into the box. Woodrow flicks on. Osho is behind him. Osho should get there and will. Osho up against Varane. Goes backwards to Doughty. Doughty now to Barkley. Barkley on his right foot and now on his left. Barkley still has it. Barkley still in that penalty area, trying to make some room for himself. Barkley still has it. Then clips it out to the right hand side. Here's Chong. Chong is offside. Flag up over on that right hand side, and that's a bit annoying from a Luton point of view, because again it was good pressure from Rob Edwards' side.
Yeah, they've got to get a shot away there. I mean, he did very well, Ross Barkley, just to try and create the openings, but it sort of almost cut inside and back outside once too many, didn't he? Needed to get the shot away really, and then the offside flag went up. Amari Bell was hobbling a little bit, but he just got a bit of a dead leg from that challenge by Casemiro. Still not moving entirely comfortably, Amari Bell.
Onana takes this free kick up towards Højlund, who gets a tiny flick on. Bell's going to pick up the second ball. It's a poor pass from Bell though. Casemiro now feeds Højlund. Højlund picks up. May seem just like a tiny little mistake, that one, but that can lead to something more. Lovely touch from Morris now. Means that Obene gets away. Obene races down that right-hand side. He then takes on Casemiro, who can't dive in. Obene has it. He's up against Shaw and Casemiro. Backwards to Lokonga. Lokonga, edge of the penalty area. Is that a foul? I don't think it was. And the referee says no. So Manchester United pick up again. We've had so many of these games here at the Kenny that are so fast-paced. Here's Morris. Morris shooting. Good strike just wide of the right-hand post from Carlton Morris, who's been Luton's best player by an absolute country mile.
Well, Morris, I think that was out of anger, that Morris, because when he laid the ball off to Obene down the right-hand side, he got caught late again, and he's complaining to referee Coote, saying, you're not seeing these late challenges. Admittedly, Luton were guilty of one not so long ago on Manu anyway, but Morris is furious, and he almost took it out on United in the best possible way, but his effort just flashed wide of Onana's left-hand post.
Luton fans upset that United took a long time with that goal kick. Eventually Maguire just rolled it to Onana, who cleared. Here's Bruno Fernandes, been relatively quiet since that opening 10-minute spell that United really enjoyed. Shaw goes backwards to Onana, the Cameroon international, just feeds it forwards to Casemiro, and Casemiro out to Dallow over on that Varane, over on that right-hand side. Varane, another ex-Real Madrid player in the United ranks, has it, and may well get forced backwards to Casemiro, and Casemiro goes back again to Onana. 37 minutes gone, 2-1 still to Manchester United. Ball down that right hand side of United's. Dallow Can't keep it in. Chong then smashes it against Garnacho. Luton are trying to win the next ball, don't quite manage it, and it's with Manu now. Manu against Doughty. Doughty just pulled him back a little bit, but Manu kept possession and now feeds Casemiro. Casemiro to Bruno Fernandes. He goes backwards to Harry Maguire. Maguire out to Rashford, who's hardly touched the ball in the last 10 minutes or so. That looks quite a good ball though, as Osho clears. Lokonga in midfield has it, holds off a player, and then Morris is pushed by Maguire, is he? Yes, he is. Maguire is saying there's nothing wrong with it. Luton win the free kick, and Maguire's having real trouble with Morris as Doughty breaks away left hand side. Doughty into the penalty area. Doughty to Chong. Chong, it might fall to him. No, it won't. He was hoping it might just ricochet into his path, but it didn't. It fell to a white shirt, which is what Manchester United are playing in. They might look to counter here, but Luton have won it back again with Lokonga in midfield. Lokonga now to Obene. Obene's going to shoot. It gets blocked by Shaw. Drops down to Manu, and Manu gets it out to that right-hand side. What a game this is! What a game!
I mean, no, that's a foul there by that's
Casemiro again, and Morris is saying to the referee that that's another one, and that should be a yellow card. Morris stays down. What's the referee going to do here, David Coote? He's got a decision to make. I don't think he's going to book him, and Casemiro is a very, very lucky boy, because that is easily could be deemed as a yellow card.
It's Barkley's caught, and Morris is sort of leading the protests, but he straight away didn't go to the pocket there, David Coote. That's Casemiro, must be absolutely on his last warning here. Well, I'm just looking at it again here. He's left a foot in there on Barkley. It's not the worst you'll ever see, I'll say that, but he must be on his last warning now, Casemiro. He did go for the ball, but he was just a bit late. I think if he's not been booked already, he's booked for that, but it might not, in fairness to the referee, be good enough for a second yellow, if you get my meaning.
I do. That is borderline yellow.
Yeah.
It's borderline yellow, and that shouldn't come into the referee's thinking. Now, I know what you're saying, as Doughty takes the free kick. Luton try and win it in the air, but Mengi can only glance it down to that right-hand side.
The break by Chong earlier on, was it Chong? No, down the left-hand side, Doughty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Woodrow unmarked to the back post, screaming for it. The ball was the deep cross to the back post. He tried to play it into Chong inside the box. Half decent cross to the back post. Woodrow's got a free header.
Got a real game on our hands here. United have sat off it, and that is so dangerous against this Luton Town side. Here's Barkley trying to spray one of those passes out to Obene. For once, his radar wasn't quite right there, Ross Barkley. And it goes back to Onana, who picks up the Manchester United goalkeeper. 5 minutes until half-time. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. The Hatters, who score a lot of goals in the Premier League. They've scored the same amount of goals as United, funnily enough, even though United have got double the points of Luton. Just concede more, of course, than the Red Devils, as Maguire feeds this one to Shaw. Shaw now up towards Hoyland. He's being well held by a combination of Bell and Mengi. Ball played forwards, trying to spot the run of Manu, but there is Osho, and Osho goes backwards to Kaminsky. Kaminsky clears up towards Obene, chested down by Shaw. Lokonga can't quite win the next one. Shaw, he's going to try a 1-2. It's not going to come off though, and Osho will go backwards to Kaminsky, and Kaminsky, all in purple, whacks this one up towards the halfway line. Woodrow tries to head down to Morris, but it doesn't quite come off that one, and Bruno Fernandes has it. Here's Casemiro. Casemiro lucky to still be on the pitch. They'll be discussing that one around the world, and at half-time everybody who's watching this game should he have been sent off, as Maguire heads down to Shaw. Shaw to Rashford. Rashford back to Shaw. Shaw bombing on, but he's running to Osho. Osho clears. It's not a great clearance because it's gone straight to Rashford. Rashford now to Hoyland, trying to get it back to Rashford. Unable to do so. Here's Barkley. Barkley nips it past Dallow. Lovely play from Barkley. Up against Casemiro. He can't touch him. Gives it to Morris instead. Morris now running at Maguire. Morris taking him on. That's a foul. And that's a definite yellow card, because Maguire has now fouled Morris about 4 or 5 times, and he can't keep doing it, and he goes in the book as well. So Maguire, Shaw and Casemiro all on yellows. Morris causing huge problems.
Lovely play from Ross Barkley as well, just to intercept and take about 3 players out of the game there, because it looked as though they'd break. Shaw had pushed forward, Rashford gave it away, Barkley's off and away, leaves Dallow turned inside out and back to front, sets it up to Morris, and Morris takes Maguire on the outside, and Maguire just hacks him down. So as you say, say, that's big players who make big tackles on yellow cards now.
Yeah, and of course Maguire is up against Morris, Shaw is up against Obene, and Casemiro is up against Barkley. So he's probably your three best Luton players.
Yeah. Well, just run at them.
Yeah.
Run at them. I mean, as you said there, Barkley sort of went towards Casemiro and he couldn't make a challenge.
Free kick Luton, which is 5 yards outside the penalty area, right-hand side. Doughty might fancy this one. Of course, Barkley's there as well. So it's either going to be Doughty or Barkley. 1, 2, 3, 4 United players in the wall, plus the one who's lying down behind them. And there is a gap because Bruno Fernandes is just slightly wider of the wall. Here's Doughty. It's hit the wall. I think it's hit Casemiro as Doughty tried to bend it over the top of them, and it's smashed Casemiro and goes out of play for a throw in.
He went for power, didn't he, Doughty? Just a little bit more, not quite going for the power and just get a bit of height and concentrate on getting it over the wall. Then he was trying to curl it away to the goalkeeper's left. You'd be disappointed not to make the keeper work from there.
Throw-in taken. Manchester United have possession inside their penalty area, and it's played out by Dalot to this left-hand side. On the counter-attack, United are very, very dangerous. Here's Rashford. Rashford clipping it in towards Shaw. It's not a great pass, and Shaw's out of position. So where is Obene? Menge has it now, and they're going to want Obene to come with the ball here, but he's not been given it because Rashford had slotted in to that left wing-back position. I think Shaw's hurt himself as well. Shaw may have to go off here as Doughty now gives this one to Chong. Chong crossing it into the box, and it's walloped away by Casemiro. Doughty chests down. Doughty still has it. He'll cross in. It's again chested down by Manchester United, and they have it with Manu. Played up towards Højlund, and then Manu does well, just gets away from Osho and Mengi. It's with Garnacho on that right-hand side. Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes. Luton have just got to be careful here. They're always a threat. Here's Rashford. Rashford onto his right foot, now onto his left. Still has it to the England international, but then runs into Lokonga. Rashford goes down, clutching his face. The referee doesn't want to know. Lokonga will kick the ball out of play, will he? Here is Morris, and it's a head injury, so the referee will have to stop it in any case. I'm not quite sure just how injured Rashford is, but anyway, he's down on the floor, and you can understand what the Luton fans think of that. It was a little slap to his face. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, Lokonga sort of lifted his arm in trying to go round him and just caught him in the eye, but it's not the injury that he is pretending it is, Marcus Rashford, I'm afraid. Very poor, very poor.
Still on the floor.
Yeah.
Rashford, you are embarrassing. The Kenny end are singing to him, and he's unfortunately...
Shame, isn't it? A young man who's done so much good in his life, off the pitch, and that's just unnecessarily poor.
He was 10 yards from the Kenilworth Road end, so I think he heard loud and clear what the Luton fans thought of him.
Rightly so. No need for that.
Luke Shaw is still having words with the bench, and I think he may well have to go off, Luke Shaw. He was a bit of a doubt for this game. I just wonder whether he's aggravated that problem as Doughty picks up now down that left-hand side. He's on the beacon as well, so it wouldn't be such a bad thing as Tom Lockyer's name is being sung, because Tom Lockyer is in the TV studio. As Luton pick up now, chance here, strike on goal just wide of the post from Alfie Doughty. It was on his right foot. If it had been on his left foot, you would have backed him to score, but as it was his right, he rather just pulled it a little bit, and it was wide of that left-hand post, and it goes down as a big chance for Luton once again, but he just couldn't quite take it.
Another big chance for an equaliser. He's got to do better there. Really has, Alfie Doughty. I know it's his right foot, but I mean, he had time to put it onto his left. Shaw's going off as he's heading straight up the tunnel, actually, Luke Shaw. But that's three big chances now. That one that Barkley couldn't quite set up. Osho's header wide, and now Doughty. Should be going in level, bizarrely, although they could have been about 4 down after 10 minutes.
Yeah, but they've been all over United in the last, 25 minutes? I mean, the ball has been camped in United's half. Lindelof on at left back, and he's not a traditional left back. So again, Obene will look to really go and cause him big problems and attack him. Here is Garnacho. Garnacho now trying to feed in Hoyland. Hoyland into the box. It's a good challenge there though from Alfie Doughty, and Lokonga mops up. Lokonga to Bell now, and Bell's going to clip this one down the left touchline towards Woodrow. Woodrow controls on the chest, still has it as Corley Woodrow, goes backwards to Doughty, and Doughty is then just going to play it square to his goalkeeper Kaminski. 4 minutes of stoppage time to play then. We've had near enough 2.5 minutes of it. Lokonga in possession for Luton and gives it to Mengi, the former United youngster. Teden Mengi, big day for him. Big day for Tahith Chong as well, another ex-Manchester United player. Here's Sambi Lokonga going backwards to Gabe Osho. Osho now to Amari Bell, and Bell just play it down the left, but he got that all wrong with Alfie Doughty. Thought that Doughty was going to make a little run, played it down there, but the ball right out of play because Doughty hadn't made that run.
Yeah, Mengi up against Rashford. How many times must that have happened in training back in the United days for Ted and Mengi?
Yeah, United take this throw in with Dallow. Luton still very much in the game and creating big problems for United. Referee says that's a foul on the Manchester club though in the centre circle. United will have to face more efforts on goal from Luton, because in the last 7 games the Hatters are averaging 15.1 shots. In the opening 16 matches it was 10.3. That's the difference. Luton, as the ball is played in from that free kick, drops down to Dallow. Was it a handball? Dallow goes back to Garnacho and it's blocked by Bell. Garnacho's appealing for a handball. It looked more like a handball the other way from United. They still have it though over on that right hand side. Luton have won the ball back and it's with Barkley. Barkley now to Bell, and Bell just touches to Doughty. Doughty tried to play a ball inside. It comes off of Garnacho and out of play for a throw. We've had the 4 minutes and we're going to have the half-time break any second now. Here's Lokonga though. Possibility of one last attack from Luton to try and go in at the break all square at 2-2. Here's Chong. Chong to Lokonga. They're going to have to get a move on though, because we've had that time up, ball forward, and that's too far away from Mo Bennett, and the ball is back with Andre Onana. And I think once he clears this, we will have the referee's whistle from David Coote. Signing from Inter Milan, Andre Onana, for a mere £50 million. And there is the clearance, and there is the whistle. Another exceptional half of football here at Kenilworth Road. It's been an absolute delight watching the Premier League action here at the Kenny, because Luton have been in every single game and they are still very much in this game, Simon Oxley.
They are. They shouldn't be, but they are. It's happened too many times. Slow start. Happened against Sheffield United. It's happened in other games that they found themselves playing catch-up, and they you know what's coming. This is Manchester United. We've seen it in other games as well. Don't stand off. Don't allow them to play, and that's what they did. 45 seconds. It's an awful error from Amari Bell, and he'll know that. But they shouldn't be making those sort of errors. Hoyland with a clear run on goal, Rashford close, then a touch of luck about the second one. Garnacho's shot was going wide, it sort of hits Hoyland, but he does sort of move towards it and deflects it into the far corner. I'm not quite sure, he was hoping just to deflect it back into the mix, I think, and ended up deflecting it in, but there were chances either side of that. I mean, they were absolutely all at sea for 10 minutes and then get one back through Carlton Morris, and then the chances since then have really have been Luton's, haven't they?
Yeah.
Barkley should set up, either should do something himself. He tried to set up Woodrow and couldn't. Well, he did, but not well enough. Then Osho has headed wide. Doughty with that late chance. There's been the free kick as well, after Maguire committed the foul on the edge of the penalty area. Maguire, Casemiro and Shaw on yellows, although now Shaw has gone off. So United are having some defending to do, although having said that, Onana's not had enough saves to make as you might like, because those efforts have been off target, really.
Yeah. Although they've been good chances.
Yeah.
That even the Morris one from the edge of the box, he caught it really well, didn't he? That just went wide. It was, it's been some fight back from Luton. United having that really good spell in the opening 10-15 minutes. Luton just didn't look like they'd settled.
No.
Looked like the preparation and the Adebayo business had completely, knocked them off kilter.
Yeah. I mean, it looked...
For 10-15 minutes they weren't at the races.
No, and it looked quite... you just feared for the scoreline, didn't you? It looked like being one of those drubbings that we've seen others get, like Sheffield United quite often, and again today. But you thought, well, Luton haven't had that, have they? They've managed to stay in the game, not concede 5 or 6, but the way it started, they were just absolutely all at sea. But they've hung in there.
Yeah.
And United sort of stepped off a little bit, have been forced back. They've just got a grip of things, Luton, and it's just a shame they're having to come from 2-0 down. Shame they're not starting until 10 minutes in.
Yeah, but it's been a great response from Luton after that really struggling start. And if I were Erik ten Hag, I would be concerned that they are just sitting off a little bit, United, because that's playing into Luton Town's hand. So we've got another belter on our hands here. United 2 up inside 7 minutes. Luton pulling it back to 2-1 after 14 minutes. And since then, it's been Luton on top. Half-time scoreline at Kenilworth Road is Luton Town 1, Manchester United 2.
The JVS Show.
Has your pet ever embarrassed you?
I used to have prayer meetings around my house where we would have meditation to begin with. The unfortunate thing about my cat was that she had this habit of sucking earlobes. You can sort of imagine my horror when I was sitting there with my eyes closed, meditating, and I suddenly heard this sucking noise, and I opened my eyes only to see her clinging to the vicar's earlobe. And the vicar is sitting there with his eyes wide open thinking, what the...
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Weekdays from 10.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Follow Luton on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yep, the Hatters in action, and they are playing well. Terrible start, of course, but right back in it. We're going to head back to Kenilworth Road with Jeff and Simon for second half commentary on all frequencies, and you can listen via BBC Sounds as well online. So you can load wherever you are, whatever you're doing today, you can listen to the Hatters, that's for sure. Let's look back on yesterday's action in this half-time period. 4 games yesterday from the Championship down to League 2. Let's start in the Championship. Watford were at Rotherham. This is what happened.
Edge of the area. Chatford-Adzer on the volley. It's blocked by Rotherham. There's Esprilla. Esprilla's done another one. He's cracked it in from the edge of the penalty area. It's not quite so good as the Tuesday one, but it's not far off it. Esprilla again comes up trumps and wallops it in edge of the area. Rotherham 0, Watford 1.
And after that 1-0 victory at the New York Stadium, Jeff Doyle spoke to Watford head coach Valérien Ismaël.
Val, that was a real battle out there. You got the job done.
Yes, exactly. I think we were ready for the battle. This is what we spoke before the game. Today was all about the results. The last 3 days was just the focus on our performance, to do the basic right, the fighting spirit we needed to have for the game. We knew that the pitch will be another additional problem for us, or challenge for us, and I think we deal with the situation very well. We were strong. Finally, another clean sheet. We stopped the bleeding, and I think it's a good reward. It was a tough period for us. The schedule, all the game, and the result as well. So it was very difficult, but we managed well now to have the turnaround.
Valérien Ismaël talking to Jeff Doyle yesterday after Rotherham 0, Watford 1 in the Championship. Elsewhere in League 1 yesterday, Stevenage, it was a kicker right on the final minute of the game. This happened.
Mendes-Lang now into the area. Offload. Oh, it's turned in. Simply it was who got the touch. It's a low ball in. Tay Ashby-Hammond from that range had absolutely no chance. Derby County 1, Stevenage 0.
Yeah, the Borough lost up at Pride Park yesterday with that 90th minute winner for the home side. And after the game, Steve Watkins spoke to Borough boss Steve Evans.
Steve, that must be hard to take.
Yeah, it's hard to take. If anybody deserves to win the game, we deserve to win the game. I think from watching it live, I think a draw is probably the right result. There's very limited chances in both boxes. We should have a clear penalty kick first half for handball that ends up the Derby boy gets it off the line, but it's just a clear penalty. We don't get these decisions. And then just a minute, the goal has just come from Aaron Presley loses his shape defensively, and I know he's an attacker, but we have a plan, and he switches off, and 2 passes later it's in our net, but hard to take.
Yeah, tough one to take for the Borough drop outside the playoff places. Elsewhere in League One, no goals between Wycombe and Oxford in the M40 derby. Matt Bloomfield had this to say to Sam Avery after the game.
Matt, a point today, could have been more. What did you take from the game?
Yeah, I think my first reaction is it was a very good game against 2 very good teams. We know Oxford are, fighting for the points at the top end of the table, but we believe that, we're an improving team. And I think our performances this week against 3 promotion contenders shows you that we're really not far away. We believe that we could have possibly taken more points from those 3 games. We created more than enough chances to win the game today, I believe. And it's slightly disappointing not to come away with more than what we've got, but at the same time I think I have to be pleased with the resilience, because if you're not going to score, you make sure that you don't concede, and I felt like our pressing shape. Oxford had a couple of chances where we've made real big blocks. Back 4 were really brave in the way they defended, so I think there's some real good positives to come out today.
Another point for the Chairboys in their resurgence in League One this season, into the final game yesterday. League Two, MK Dons at Swindon. This is what happened.
Plays the ball forward. He's looking for the run of Lofthouse. Won't get there though, but he'll put the player under pressure. Surely this is going to be a goal for Wern. He's put it into the corner. Messy, scrappy, but a goal for Dons after 4 minutes. And Stephen Wern has his first goal for his new club on his first start. Swindon Town 0, MK Dons 1. Now Kemp, just outside the penalty area, plays the ball in all the way across. 2-0. 2-0. 8 minutes played. Kemp to Wern. Wern has 2. Unbelievable. What a start. Swindon Town 0, MK Dons 2.
Yeah, Swindon did get a late consolation in the game, but the Dons won the game by 2-1. And head coach Mike Williamson spoke to Paul Dixon after the match.
Mike, perfect response. He talked about pride on Tuesday, but I'm sure you're feeling pride for a different reason, and that start was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start, I thought, and I think what we can take from the game is some of our offensive play was very good, and last-ditch defending I thought was you can see the spirit, and every player on the pitch wanted to throw their body in front of the ball, but there's big parts of the game that I think we were quite far off, and I think we made it hard for ourselves, and obviously it turns into chaotic in the last few minutes, and I think lads' boots are getting thrown all over the place, and it's it just adds to the mix. But no, incredibly proud of the boys. I think the fact that we've got good players won that game today.
3 Counties Sport.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
So that was all the games yesterday from the Championship, League 1 and League 2. We're back again on Tuesday with MK Dons against Wrexham. Then Wednesday, Luton up at Liverpool, and that EFL Trophy semi-final, Bradford against Wycombe. Let's head back to Kenilworth Road now and just talk about maybe some of the changes that might be taking place at the break. Certainly from a Manchester United perspective, looking on in that first half, after Casemiro got the yellow card and then didn't get the second yellow card, from that point on he hardly went near a Luton player. I'm not sure that Eric Ten Hag can keep him on, can he?
I'm not sure that he's going to be honest, no. Because Scott McTominay is out there warming up, stripped and ready to come on. One would assume he would come on and replace Casemiro. Now, as you say, there were a couple of occasions where he just couldn't. I mean, he was a sort of non-playing defender, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He just couldn't move towards anybody in possession of the ball, because if he got it wrong, he was off. Because, OK, sometimes you get away with one, but the fact he's on an absolutely last warning, and having a look at it, it's like I said to Jeff in commentary, it was one of those where you get booked if you if you haven't been booked, but if you already have, you might not get a yellow. It was a weird one, but I mean, on another day, another ref might send him off.
Looks like Johnny Evans is coming on as well, Luke, because he's also stripped and ready for action.
He is, yeah.
So it's the two of them wearing full kit. So you would imagine that they're both coming on. So wow, I mean, Johnny Evans, a great career, but really, Manchester United, they let him go, I don't know how long ago, 3-4 years ago, and then in desperation, because they needed centre-halves, they brought him back just almost on a short-term deal, and he's going to be coming up against Luton Town, and he's going to be up against Carlton Morris. I do wonder whether he might take off Harry Maguire, who's also on a yellow, because Maguire's Morris has been tormenting him.
It's been great,
and he's had to put him down. Yeah,
it's been great.
It's a great battle.
Yeah, it really
but Morris has absolutely dominated the battle. And Ten Hag might just think, actually, it hasn't worked for Maguire against Morris, and he's on a yellow card. We may as well not carry on with that one then. Why don't we just bring on Evans and let him try and deal with Morris? But and it may well be that Varane is injured. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it certainly looks like these two are coming on. And Luton have got a great chance here,
Luke.
United have sat back. That is so risky against Luton, who'll love that. They'll just bomb on, get players in the box and try and cause problems. They're kicking towards the Kenny end.
Yeah.
I think if United carry on with these tactics like they did from 20 minutes onwards, where Luton then just dominated, Luton can get right in this game.
Really enjoyed watching Carlton Morris in that first half as well. I thought Chong was great. Chong was taking the ball forward and really posing some questions of the Manchester United defenders as well. I thought he's had a good game, but Carlton Morris certainly, I think he's been excellent. Some of his best football this season.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think this is the best I've seen him play this season. He's really caused them problems.
He looks really up for it, doesn't he? Like really up for it.
And to be fair to the manager, he is dropping deeper. It's noticeable actually watching it now. He is still he's dropping deeper, but then he is getting full. He's playing very much like a Harry Kane role, what that Harry Kane played for Tottenham towards the end of his final days at White Hart Lane, where he was dropping really deep, but then making sure he was getting in the box, and that's causing them certain issues. It's interesting.
Tis Maguire. Maguire's not out there. That's Lindelof, isn't it? There's no Maguire. They've sacrificed him by the looks of it.
Okay. Well, I can hear the players are heading on their way out at Kenilworth Road. Hand over to you guys. Jeff Dort, Simon Oxley. Enjoy the second half.
Thank you, Luke. Yes, welcome back, everybody. Goodness me. Manchester United making a double change at the start of this half, with Scott McTominay going to come on in place of Casemiro, who's not out there either. And the experienced Johnny Evans, the Northern Ireland international, will come on to replace Harry Maguire. So the two players on yellow cards, Maguire and Casemiro, are hooked at half-time by manager Erik Ten Hag. And those are the changes indeed. Well, goodness me. Harry Maguire, would you trust him to not get booked? You would do, wouldn't you? He's a senior player.
Well, that tells you how much Ten Hag is concerned, and it tells you how much that they're worried about the Barkley's influence against Casemiro and Morris against Maguire. That says just how well Morris played in that first half and how much he fears Barkley against Casemiro. All of the three players that were booked have all gone off. I mean, admittedly, sure, because of injury, but he's worried, Ten Hag, and so he's made those changes.
So off we go then. We're underway at Kenilworth Road. Luton 1, Manchester United 2 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Luton attacking the Kenilworth end in orange shirts, dark shorts, orange socks, trailing by 2-1 after that horror start, and they've got right back into this. And Manchester United feeling the pressure to the extent that they've had to take off Harry Maguire and Casemiro, two of their most experienced players, have made way at half-time. Onana clears the ball upfield. Long ball forward down the right-hand side to Dalot. Headed away by Tahith Chong to Cauley Woodrow. Woodrow bundled into from behind by Varane, but nothing given. Throw to Manchester United. So Luton, who made initially two changes, with Chong and Mengi coming in for Clark and Burke, forced then to do without the services of leading scorer Elijah Adebayo, injured in the warm-up. Here's Woodrow, who came in for him. Chong down the left-hand side, but that's gone out of play, and that will be a Luton throw. So Luton, Kaminski in goal, Mengi, Osho and Bell the centre halves, Doughty and Obene out wide, Lokonga and Barkley centre midfield, Chong, Woodrow and Morris. The subs, Krul, Berry, Kabore, Burke and Panzu, Clark, Townsend, Youngster, Nelson and Potts, who's come onto the bench with Woodrow stepping up into the starting 11. Run through the United side. Much change now, United side, in this second half in a moment. Luton in possession with Morris on halfway. Loses possession. Mainu now finds Rashford. Rashford plays it inside towards Hoyland. Hoyland on a hat-trick, but he tried to tee it up for McTominay and gives it straight to Barkley. Woodrow lays it off to Morris. Not the best of passes, but Morris makes the most of it and finds Obene. Obene now up against Lindelof. Obene down the right-hand side. Fernandes there to help out as well. Obene back inside to Lokonga. Lokonga finds Barkley. Barkley up towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area to Amari Bell. Bell out to the left-hand side to Doughty. Early cross from Doughty into the back post. It's a comfortable catch for Onana. And the Cameroon international makes a fairly routine catch. So Onana in goal. Dalot, Varane, Evans and Lindelof now at the back. Mainu and McTominay, Garnacho, Fernandes, Rashford and Hoyland. And Hoyland now plays it into Garnacho. Garnacho inside the box, forced out wide. Garnacho back onto his left foot, flicks it into the area. Hoyland trying to turn and get the shot away. Fernandes, it's blocked by his own player. It was McTominay, I think, in the way as Fernandes tried to pass it into the corner of the net. McTominay got in the way, and that's something of a let-off for Luton in the opening exchanges in this second half as Varane goes all the way back to Onana.
It's another mistake from Luton, though. It's Mengi. It's a routine high ball up in the air, and Mengi makes a right mess of it, giving it straight back to United, 30 yards from goal, and Luton are lucky they don't score from that. Luton are causing their own problems.
Long ball from the back, and Kaminski saves as Dalot appeared and tried to go round Kaminski, breaking forward there, Diogo Dalot, and it was a long ball from Onana, which Luton was, I think, expecting to go through for Kaminski, and Dalot's appeared from nowhere.
Yeah, but he wasn't tracked. You know, Doughty's got to track him there.
Now Luton play it long and find Chong down the left-hand side. Tries to go past Mainu. Chong to the byline. Clips in the cross towards Woodrow. It's cleared. Comes out to Barkley. Barkley inside to Woodrow. Drives it through a crowd of players, but straight at Onana. But kept the shot down. Got it on target, Cauley Woodrow, but straight at the big goalkeeper.
Yeah, comfortable for Onana. Brilliant little layoff from Barkley. That absolutely class from Barkley, coming up to him high, and he just hooks his foot round it and plants it straight at Woodrow. And Woodrow got a connection, but they're nowhere near strong enough. Onana's a good goalkeeper. But Luton, you know, they can't get done by these long balls forwards. They're better than that. Doughty's got to track Dalot, who does like to push on, and he didn't.
Good header inside from Woodrow towards Morris. Mainu coming across to make the challenge. Breaks to Woodrow, but Woodrow's in an offside position. But Woodrow's saying no because it came back off the Manchester United player. How can that be offside? And he's putting that quite forcibly to the assistant over on the far side. And again, just has to be careful there, Cauley Woodrow. Remember, he was booked in the first half. And that's a couple of times he's shown a little bit of dissent to an assistant. Although he does have the support of a good 10,000 or so people inside the ground. But I think he was in an offside position initially when the ball was played by a Luton player. Here's Dalot down the right-hand side. Gets away from Doughty again. Dalot breaking forward, plays it inside. McTominay leaves it for Hoyland. Hoyland tees it up for Fernandes into Garnacho, who then gives it away. Mengi clears straight against Fernandes, but it spins off the Manchester United midfielder and through to Kaminski. 5 minutes gone in the second half, and already it's helter-skelter stuff, and mistakes and half chances and chances. Kaminski clears the ball upfield. Evans climbing all over Morris, and that'll be a free kick to Luton.
Again, Evans on Morris. They're targeting Morris because they know he's the big threat. That's twice Evans done him now.
And not been booked. Doughty down the left-hand side. Morris just picking himself up to his feet. He's got to carry on, Morris, with no Adebayo. He's got to take the workload. Here's Amari Bell. Bell rolls it into Woodrow. Back again to Bell. Bell bursting through inside the box, and Evans covering across. Clears. Garnacho and Hoyland after this. Osho's got to do better. Osho just about does enough there. Ends up in a heap on the floor. Then the referee gets in the way of Fernandes, and Luton just about escaped there. It looked as though they were going to get turned over again, but Osho just did enough.
That was a little bit like the Sheffield United one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just about got on it, but then dallied a little bit. And it's in those situations where United can just go pop, 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 and they're in again. Luton have just got to be careful in trying to get this equaliser, not to allow United to score an easy goal.
Morris plays it round the back for Obene. Obene to the byline, clips in the cross. Chong arriving. Chong's header deflects behind off Dallow, and that will be a corner, will it? Or what's the... no, the assistant has signalled for a goal kick, or maybe offside actually. On that far side, was that Obene as the...
Well, that was tight if it was.
Yeah, he's given offside, I think, for Obene down that right-hand side of the initial break. Again, a very late flag. Nobody knows from either side what's going on. Evans is taking his time over the goal kick, and they'll leave it for Onana, which is infuriating the Luton fans. But in fairness to the United players, not really sure anybody knew what was happening there. 52 minutes gone. Luton 1, Manchester United 2 on BBC Three Counties Radio. A brace for Højlund in the first 6 minutes. Morris pulling one back 7 minutes later. Chances since then for both sides, the better ones to Luton. United have been forced to make 3 changes. And here's Ross Barkley inside his own half for Luton. Barkley down the right-hand side, clips it forward for Obene. Flag stays down. He was onside, but Evans covered across and found Onana. Back again to Evans down that left-hand side. Evans onto his left foot, clears up towards the halfway line, brought under control by Mengi, who almost gives it away, doesn't. Now Lokonga making the most of a poor pass from Morris. Back to Morris. Morris inside to Barkley, who can make the most of any pass. Barkley out to the left-hand side to Doughty. Doughty on this near side to us. Luton attacking the Kenilworth end. Doughty forward to Chong. Chong trying to get away from Dallow. Dallow sticks close to him, forces Chong back towards the halfway line. Chong out to Doughty. Doughty cuts inside away from Garnacho, who falls over. Doughty clips it into the box towards Woodrow, headed away by Evans. Comes to Barkley. Barkley forced back towards halfway, finds Amari Bell. Bell inside to Osho. Osho looking to see where Højlund is, goes back to Kaminski. They've kept possession but been forced back into their own half. Amari Bell now to Lokonga. Lokonga turning nicely and now running at the United midfield. Rolls it out to the right-hand side. Woodrow takes it on. Woodrow up to the edge of the penalty area. Flicks it back inside to Lokonga. Now Obene. Obene onto his right foot. Whips the cross in across the edge of the 6-yard area. United clear. Rashford lashes it up towards the halfway line, towards Højlund. Højlund brings it under control. Osho with him. Højlund turns. Good tackle by Osho. Breaks for Barkley. Leaves it for Chong. Chong out to the right-hand side to Doughty. Doughty taking on United. Gets his cross in too far ahead of Woodrow. And it will roll out of play over on the far side. Just needed to... Doughty's saying you should be in there. But I think in fairness to the others, they were struggling to keep up. He just needed to delay before he whipped that cross in.
Yeah, it's great pressure though from Luton. It really is. It's fantastic stuff again from Rob Edwards' side. They are causing United huge problems. United are struggling to get on the ball in midfield. Luton are absolutely dominating that midfield area. Lokonga's really come to the fore in this second half. I mean, alongside Barkley, it's easier, isn't it? But those two in there are winning that battle.
Here's Chong, found by Mengi. Chong with space to his left, forced out wide. Chong takes the shot on, but scuffs it, claims the corner, gets the corner. Took a slight deflection. He did scuff it, but he took a deflection, so Luton corner. Doughty goes across to that far side. A pat on the back from Chidozie Obene to encourage Doughty as he goes across to the right-hand side to curl this corner in left-footed. No Adebayo to aim at, but Osho's there. Remember that header in the first half, Osho, free header effectively, couldn't hit the target. Big chance from the set piece there for Luton. Can they find another one? 10 minutes gone in the second half. They trail 2-1. Doughty to take the corner far side. Doughty swings it in left-footed. Morris arriving. United head the ball away. Obene back into the mix. There's a shove on Woodrow who's challenging. Morris out to the right-hand side looking to tee up Barkley. Away by Varane. Lokonga underneath it. Mengi flicks it forward towards the edge of the United area. Woodrow lays it off back to Obene. Obene onto his right foot. Osho stayed forward. Still Obene. No way through for Obene at the moment. Still Obene. Rolls it in behind looking for Doughty. Doughty down that right-hand side. Cuts back onto his left foot. Back to Obene. Obene plays it back to Barkley. Luton keeping the pressure on here. 2-1 down against Manchester United. It looked as though it might be a rout. 2 after 6 minutes, but Luton right back in this now. Lokonga out to the left-hand side to Amari Bell. Bell faced by Garnacho. 1-2 with Chong. Bell, low cross in towards the near post. It's blocked. Bell's there again. Gets it back to Chong. Chong faced by Garnacho. Chong goes round Garnacho. Chong trying to pick somebody out. Morris can't quite apply the finishing touch, and United clear with Fernandez, although he's under pressure from Osho. And in the end, Fernandez brings the ball away nicely, and here's Hoyland. Hoyland away from one challenge. Plays it forward out to the right-hand side to Rashford, and the break is on for United. Rashford up to the edge of the penalty area. Still Rashford, left-footed shot. Great save, Kaminski. Away to his left-hand side. That was heading for the bottom corner, and the big Belgian sticks out the left arm and makes the save.
That's a great save. That is a great save, because he smashed that one, Rashford. It was brilliant from Rashford. He's hardly been in the game, Rashford, but then he does crop up. United on the counter-attack are going to be a big threat, a huge threat. That's how they're going to get the better of Luton if they do so, because the Hatters are just going to pile on the pressure. But of course, there is that nagging feeling that they might get done on the counter-attack, and that's a great save, Kaminski.
Kaminski plays it long now, headed away by Varane, gets there ahead of Chong. Now Dallow getting away from Woodrow, but Woodrow trying to get the better of Mainu, but United play themselves out of trouble, and here's McTominay breaking forward, gets away from Doughty, still McTominay to Hoyland. Hoyland helps it out to Rashford now on the left edge of the penalty area. Rashford back inside, Fernandez with the shot, cleared by Lokonga, headed away by Obene, and then cleared by Mengi into the stand over on the far side, onto the roof of the main stand in fact, but United, when they go through the gears, are causing problems.
Yes, they are. They're sitting back, but then when they get that ball forward very quickly, they're causing Luton's defence problems. But the Hatters have got to go for it. They're 2-1 down, so you're just going to have to accept that might happen.
2-1 to Manchester United on BBC Three Counties Radio, all our frequencies, live around the UK via BBC Sounds as well. Manchester United throw in towards Hoyland, back to McTominay, now played across to Garnacho, edge of the penalty area. Dallow on the overlap, Dallow with a shot, good block by Amari Bell. Garnacho first to the loose ball, then he's tackled by Cauley Woodrow, and Woodrow can bring it away on this near side. Plays it back to Amari Bell, Bell away from Garnacho, keeps it in down the left-hand touchline. Plays a 1-2 off a United player, now back inside to Barkley. Barkley, they're urging him to play it out to Obene, but he's played it short to Lokonga. Now Barkley again inside the centre circle, and now Barkley plays it out to Obene, who can take on Lindelof. Obene down the right-hand side, up to the edge of the area, inside the box now Obene. Obene plays it back to Mengi inside to Barkley. Barkley onto his left foot with a shot, but always going wide of Onana's right-hand post. Yeah. Just a little bit too far out for that sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, I think with someone of his ability, you don't mind it from Barkley, because he has got that in his locker, hasn't he? He's been outstanding again, Barkley, in the middle of the park for Luton. I mean, every time he plays, he's absolutely sensational. His ball control, his ability on the ball is just out of this world.
United play the goal kick short. Onana clears the ball upfield in the end. Osho heads it away. Dallow on this near side, flicks it back inside, but Woodrow's there ahead of Varane. Still Woodrow inside to Carlton Morris. Morris edge of the penalty area. Good tackle, Johnny Evans. Really good tackle by Evans. And now he finds Hoyland, and Hoyland to Garnacho. Garnacho forward to Fernandez. Kaminski doesn't know whether to come or not, and Fernandez gets the shot away, and it's a great block by Sambi Lokonga. Kaminski didn't know whether to stick or twist. Fernandez was round him, and Sambi Lokonga's kept Luton's deficit at just 1.
He's probably saved Luton from defeat there, Sambi Lokonga. It's absolutely brilliant from the midfielder. It's the best I've seen him play as well, Lokonga, for Luton Town. He's been getting better and better and better, but he's been magnificent today, and that has just saved a certain goal because it was rolling into an empty net.
It was beautifully weighted for Fernandez, because if Kaminski had come, Fernandez would have got there first and Kaminski would have had to brought him down. Beautifully weighted pass, but great covering from Sambi Lokonga as United win another throw down by the corner flag on the right-hand side. But they're just starting to threaten on the counter-attack, Manchester United. They really are. Garnacho to the fore, and here's Garnacho again. Dallow flicks it inside. This is McTominay. Good tackle by Amari Bell. Breaks to Fernandez. Now Mainu on the edge of the area, back to Dallo, Dallo back to Fernandez, Fernandez swings in the cross to the back post and Mengi safety first, has to head it behind and it'll be a Manchester United corner. Great tackle up the other end meanwhile, Johnny Evans, he's playing really well. He's looked much more at ease with trying to deal with Morris than Maguire ever did.
Yeah, he's done a good job there. Just wonder whether Morris might just be tiring a little bit when he received the ball there. He looked to go and take on Evans there, but he wasn't quite on the ball as he was in that first half. No surprise, because he was all over the place in the first half.
He's taken a few whacks as well, Carlton.
Yeah, he
Morris.
has, yeah.
Whether one or two of those are starting to hurt. Here's Fernandez with the corner then. Left-hand side for Manchester United. 61.5 minutes played. They're 2-1 up Manchester United. Fernandez drives it into the edge of the area for Garnacho. Garnacho through a crowd of players straight at Kaminski. Could have taken it first time, actually, Garnacho, and stopped and took a touch. And then when he got the shot away, it didn't quite have the power behind it. Kaminski's rolled it out short to Lokonga, who goes back to the goalkeeper, and Kaminski clears up towards the halfway line. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Morris heads it down for Barkley. Barkley's ball is intercepted. Mainu now back to McTominay, to Fernandez, little give and go, but Mengi's there ahead of Rashford and clears it upfield. Varane is there to get it back to Evans, and Evans will clear to Lindelof and back again to Varane. 4 times a Champions League winner, Rafael Varane, but not sure he's ever come across anything quite like this. Fernandez plays it forward towards Højlund, away by Osho. Here's Barkley on halfway, who's just tugged by Fernandez, and that'll be a free kick. Quickly taken, or have Luton just played on? Chong has given it away, though, from that quickly taken free kick, and United play the little triangles and get themselves out of trouble.
I think it's time for some subs, Si. I think it is. I think there's tired legs out there now. I just wonder whether Rob Edwards is just giving it a little bit more time, because Manchester United are just edging on top again.
Because they have got fresh legs, haven't they? Because they made those changes. Some enforced, but a couple at half-time. Here's Fernandez taking Luke Shaw off just before the break, and then Evans and McTominay coming on at half-time. Højlund back to Mainu. Mainu out to the right-hand side to Garnacho. Garnacho chests it down. Cuts inside away from Amari Bell. Back to Mainu. Mainu plays it forward to Fernandez, who's got space on the edge of the area. Højlund back again to Fernandez, who's starting to pull the strings now. Garnacho turns, Garnacho shoots, puts it over the crossbar. Bruno Fernandes is coming to the party, and that spells danger for Luton Town.
Yeah, they're getting on top. They really are getting on top. Barkley's just a bit labouring in midfield, which is putting a big onus on Lokonga. I think Chong might have to do a little bit more in there to help out as well. Woodrow's on a booking, so they might consider taking him off. I think now's the time just to go and give Luton a bit of a lift. Although they started really well this second half, Luton, Onana hasn't really had a save to make, has he?
Here's Doughty breaking forward, just shows too much of that to Dallo, but then the referee has done a good thing there, because he allowed play to continue, and there was a little tug by Garnacho on Doughty earlier on, which he let go, but then when Doughty lost possession, he's come back for the free kick, which Luton have played short, and now out to Mengi down the right-hand side. Mengi looking for Lokonga, but finds Barkley. Barkley inside the centre circle, still Barkley. Barkley coming across to this left-hand side now for Luton. Now he'll go back out to the right, rolls it across to Ted Mengi, who's got a little bit of space. 64.5 minutes gone, 2-1 to Manchester United. Woodrow back to Mengi. Mengi inside towards Barkley. Touch on to Chong. Chong edge of the area, still Chong. Chong with the shot, it's blocked by Varane when Doughty was screaming for it, but Chong couldn't find him, or chose not to. Now Chong again, inside the box, finds Doughty this time. Doughty trying to get to the byline, gets his cross in, blocked by Dallo and spins behind for a corner. Luton waiting to make some changes. Andros Townsend and Jordan Clark coming on in a moment, as Doughty prepares to take the corner on the left-hand side.
I think Chong had to pass to him there.
Yeah, he's got to play him in, hasn't he?
I think if he had done, I think then Doughty's got a strike on with his left foot.
First time gets the shot away, doesn't he? First time. Doughty with the corner then for Luton. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Sunday evening on BBC Three Counties Radio. Doughty swings it into the back post. Osho was arriving, headed away by Evans. Comes out to Obene. Obene back onto his left foot, curls one, but Onana's in the right place. Comfortable save for the goalkeeper, who then throws it out quickly, and Højlund breaks forward for Manchester United. Finds Garnacho. Garnacho cutting inside. Still Garnacho. Plays it across to Rashford. Rashford has Lindelof on the overlap, but Rashford goes back inside to Evans. And it's just slowed down a bit for United, and Varane under pressure from Woodrow finds Dalot. Dalot turns away from Woodrow. Woodrow goes again. He's worked hard, Cauley Woodrow. Dalot back to Varane. Varane inside the centre circle, but United just forced a play back to Onana in the end. As Luton prepared to make this double change. Onana clears upfield down the left-hand side towards Rashford, headed away by Obene. Finds Lokonga. Lokonga now with Obene surging forward down the right-hand side. Gets his cross in. There was nobody there. Flicked wide by Evans. Woodrow heads it back towards Barkley, but United clear. It was a great ball by Obene, and now United have played it forward to Garnacho. Garnacho through one-on-one. Flag stays down. Garnacho goes round the goalkeeper. Still Garnacho. Garnacho, great save by Kaminski. Garnacho couldn't get the shot away. Now he gets the cross in, and I wouldn't be surprised if the flag doesn't go up on the near side. No, flag stays down. Garnacho can't believe it. He's lying flat on his back inside the penalty area as Luton look to counter with Morris. I was waiting for the flag to go up as Mainu fouls Morris, and that'll be a free kick. Seemed he had to be offside there, Garnacho.
Oh, I think he was all right, Si. I think he was all right.
Here. There's the ball. Oh, yeah, he's onside, clearly onside.
I mean, Kaminski has to get that. Kaminski has to get that ball. He was on the edge of his area. He saw what happened. Rob Edwards just turned away in disgust when Kaminski then backpedalled. The run was made well before the halfway line, and he should score, Garnacho. That's twice Kaminski's been rounded, and twice they haven't scored from it. I mean, United should be ahead by more than 2-1 at this point. Even though Luton have done really well in the second half, United could have killed this game off.
Well, Cauley Woodrow's gone off, so too Tahith Chong, and Jordan Clark and Andros Townsend have come on. It's Luton 1, Manchester United 2. It's the midway point of the second half. Luton still in it. United looking ever more dangerous on the counter. Jeff, to take you through until full time.
Well, I think there's going to be another goal here, and I'm not sure who's going to score it. At the moment, United on the counter-attack look like they could score at any moment, and they should have done as well. They really should have done. They've had some glorious chances. One brilliantly kept out by Lokonga. That one was blocked by Kaminski after Kaminski probably should have come out and dealt with it initially. But Luton, they are going to get caught on the counter-attack because they're 2-1 down, so they are going to have to push men forwards. So we're playing that kind of game where if they do concede, you almost let them off. Here is Amari Bell now. Bell looking to play a ball into the box of Clark. It drops to Morris. Morris still there, trying to get it back to Clark. Still with Morris. Morris clipping it into the box, trying to get Obene involved. Now Barkley prods down to Morris. Morris now to Bell. Here's Townsend. Townsend to Morris. It's very tight in there, but if it's tight, you want the ball at Barkley's feet, and it is. Backwards he goes to Osho. Osho gives it to Mengi. Mengi to Townsend. Townsend now. Obene's overlapped him. Instead he goes backwards to Lokonga. Lokonga to Obene. Obene versus Lindelof. Obene, then another one goes to help Lindelof. It's Rashford who's doubled up on Obene. He'll be forced to go backwards to Lokonga. Lokonga exchanges passes with Mengi. Here's the Arsenal loanee. Gives it to Mari Bell. Bell back to Lokonga. Lokonga now down to Doughty. 2-1 down Luton. Doughty into Barkley. Barkley, quick feet again. Mainu gets a challenge in, but only clears to Lokonga. Lokonga's going to clip it in. Needs to be good, but it isn't quite finding Obene. And now Lindelof will go backwards to Onana. Onana taking his time before he smashes this one away. And it's a pretty good ball, actually, up towards Bruno Fernandes. Here's Garnacho. Just missed that chance earlier to Fernandes again. Outside of the boot pass from Fernandes is perfect. Out to Rashford. Rashford cuts inside and Townsend fouls him. Free kick to United, who remain 2-1 up, and Townsend, having just come on, is booked for that challenge.
Well, I think it was always going to be honest. Yeah, it's a clumsy sort of challenge, just left his leg out and brought Rashford down. The referee's not going to allow him to get away with that, to be honest. A few groans from the supporters, but I don't think you can have too many complaints there.
Free kick United. Those travelling fans singing in the Oak Road end, which is where United are kicking towards in this second half. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. BBC Three Counties Radio on all of our frequencies today and online via BBC Sound. So on your phone, on your smart speaker, on your laptop, you can listen to us. and on digital radio as well. Here's Bruno Fernandes for United. Fernandes shoots, it's a good one. Kaminsky punches away well, and it gets good distance on it too. Townsend challenging for it. United pick up with Mainu. Mainu beats the challenge of Barkley. Mainu still has it. He's then fouled. United will play on. Referee does, because Rashford has it. Rashford is going to go backwards to Garnacho. Garnacho, they've picked up the tempo, United. Garnacho, edge of the area, almost as though they sense that it's probably the best way forward. Here's a strike on goal, and it looked like it might be going in from Garnacho. Hits an orange shirt and goes wide for another corner kick. And Luton Town are living a little bit dangerously at the moment.
Yeah, Ted and Mengi lucky to escape a card there. That was a real poor challenge on the edge of the box. Just leapt in, didn't he? Referee, as you say, allowed play to continue. There's only, I'm afraid, one way this is going at the moment. United just need to wrap things up with another one. They've last 10 minutes. They've really upped the ante.
Corner kick for Manchester United over on that right-hand side, and it's Bruno Fernandes to take this set piece. In comes the delivery. Varane goes up for it but doesn't win it. Townsend's going to pick up. Townsend needs to be quick. He was clipped by Varane, and this is going to be a free kick to Luton. Played quickly by Doughty to that right-hand side, and Obene, as he's still got legs in him to go and attack down that right-hand side. There must be some tired legs out there at the moment. Here's Barkley beyond the halfway line. Barkley still has it, nudges forwards to Townsend. It's just a pleasure to watch Barkley on this Kenilworth Road pitch. It really is a real privilege, which is why the Luton fans love him so much. They are seeing a top-class performer. Here's Osho now for Luton on the halfway line. Osho just rolls it forwards to Mengi. Mengi will go backwards to Osho, and Osho's now looking at options, nudges it to Clark. Clark on as a substitute just a few moments ago, goes backwards to Mengi. Luton just need to create a chance or two. They've had quite a lot of possession around the final third as Doughty crosses in, but again it's a bit like that, just not creating those chances from these final third positions. They've just got to up that quality there, and Doughty's frustrated with himself with that ball in towards the penalty area, which has gone out of play.
Great pass from Mengi to get him the space, when whether he's just taking it on too early, he's whipping it. It's a great cross in, but it's too far in front of anybody in an orange shirt. And from that sort of starting position, he's asking too much of those players to get on the end of it.
Goal kick United. Evans gives it to Onana, and Onana back to Evans. Evans plays this one forwards to McTominay. McTominay takes no chances and goes back to Onana. 73 minutes gone. Luton 1, United 2. Onana rolls forwards to Fernandes. Fernandes to Varane. Varane looking up, curls it up towards Højlund. Højlund looking to flick on, but not enough on that one, trying to find Dallow, who's pushed on. Played into midfield again, and Barkley. Lokonga now up towards Townsend. Was he fouled? Yes, he was, by Johnny Evans. Free kick to Luton, who continue to try and press. And it's with Townsend now. Double substitution a moment ago, him and Clark. Here is Obene now. A reminder, Adebayo missed this one out because he had to withdraw due to an injury during the warm-up. Here is Lokonga. Lokonga for the Hatters to Osho. Osho in the centre circle, takes on Garnacho. Osho still has it to Obene. Obene backwards to Mengi. Mengi for the Hatters. Luton have had a lot of possession in this second half. Just haven't quite created the chances to go along with all of this possession. And it's been United have had all of the best chances and who should have extended their lead. They'll go backwards to Evans. Evans, who's been a stabilising force in the centre of that defence. Here's Varane. Varane now to Dallow. Dallow has knocked the ball out of play, has he? No, it's just kept him play down this right side. There is Bell now. Bell controls and takes it away. His error led to that first goal. It was a volley with his right foot when it should have been his left. Here is Clark, surging run from Clark. Mainu brings him down, does he? And he's going to get a yellow card as well, the young midfielder, Kobbie Mainoo. Just a sliding tackle from behind. It looked like he won the ball to me, but
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Get another look here as he slides in. He does. It's a great tackle, actually, but he's come from behind, so
they give him these days, don't they?
He slides in and just hooks his foot around the ball and then catches Jordan Clark. Well, I think we're both old school, and that's a great tackle.
Yeah, it's a great
from
tackle.
where we're standing, but in this day and age, it's from behind, and it's a foul, and it's a yellow card.
That's a yellow card, and Casemiro's second wasn't a yellow card.
Yeah, well, quite.
Free kick Luton. Doughty over this, so too Barkley. Can Luton fashion a chance or two in this final 15 minutes here at Kenilworth Road? Trading by 2 goals to 1. Barkley over it, but I think he's going to leave it for Doughty. Cesc Fabregas saying that Luton were blessed to have Ross Barkley in their side in a great interview they did with the former Arsenal and Spanish midfielder. Here's Doughty's free kick. In comes the delivery. Good one, far post, but United have won it. Only as far as Townsend the clearance. Townsend to Obene. Obene for Luton. Looks to cross in, does so. Morris gets a flick on. Osho is there. Shoots, it's blocked. And then it hits Fernandez. And goalkeeper Onana will stop it. That was a chance for Osho, but he couldn't get through. The couple of white shirts in his way towards the goal, causing problems from the set piece. Osho couldn't have done much more, really. Got the shot away, but Fernandez was able to block it.
Yeah, great block, because he did get the shot away. Didn't look as though he was going to be able to. Gabe Osho sort of dropped to his feet, and he got the shot away. The initial ball in, though, from the free kick. Doughty headed away. Johnny Evans again.
He's done well in there, hasn't he? I mean, he's always been a good player, Johnny Evans. Had a long career, and it's been a good career. And he's just come in there to help out that defence, and he's done a good job. After Maguire was struggling with Morris in the first half. Onana has possession for United. Onana just rolls forwards to Fernandez, who just about gets away with that one. Clark was very close behind him. Just taking a chance again, United. Onana giving it to Fernandez. They'll need to be careful as Osho is fouled there by Hoyland. And this is going to be another free kick to Luton Town, which is taken quickly by Barkley. Barkley to Clark. Clark just tried a little reverse pass to Doughty. It didn't come off, and it means that United can break away again. This is where they're so dangerous as Rashford breaks clear right-hand side. Marcus Rashford plays it into Garnacho. Garnacho drags it back. Here's a chance for United. Hoyland, good save from Kaminski again. It's another chance for United, and it's another one that goes begging. It was almost a hat-trick for Hoyland, and it's a good block from Kaminski.
Well, they've got away with that one. I would blame Barkley though. He took the free kick quickly and Jordan Clark lost possession, but he was running into 3 defenders. Didn't need to take the free kick so quickly, Ross Barkley.
Here's Obene now, right-hand side. Luton up the other end, come forwards. Obene crossing, there's no one there though. He's going to have to wait before he gets those balls into the box, because Morris had just about got in there. Clark was kind of just getting in there, and Obene crossed in without really looking, and that's a bit of a waste from Obene. Just hold on to the ball and wait for some support, as United again are messing about in taking this goal kick, and I think one of them's going to get in trouble in a minute, Onana or Evans. Again, they've taken it short, and now Onana will clear. It's another save from Kaminski. It's another chance for the visitors, and Hoyland very close to a hat-trick. He's now scored in 6 matches in succession for United and joins some great players to do that, including Eric Cantona and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Having got off to a slow start for United, Hoyland very much has found his feet, as now Doughty has fouled Dalot, and this is going to be a free kick to the visitors.
Well, they've had the clear chances, haven't they, in the second half? That Osho one for Luton in amongst 4 really good chances.
The ball over the top again is a chance from McTominay. That's a good block from Luton. He just got his body in the way, did the defender. I think he's caused himself problems again, Lokonga.
Lokonga, another great piece of play from Lokonga. He's done some great covering work to help out those defenders. He's needed to, because there's been a few mistakes in there, but...
Just got, from the follow-through, the player landed on him accidentally, but just caught him on the back of the head. And it's been Garnacho who's had the majority of the chances for Manchester United in this second chance. I mean, how this is still 2-1, I do not know.
Well, no, Luton should have equalised before half-time, really. Had some good chances, but Kaminski's made some key saves in this second half. Yeah. And the block from Lokonga as well.
Yeah, United have had some gilt-edged chances, haven't they? Yes. They should be further ahead than they are, but it still gives Luton a chance as Kaminski just gets the better of Hoyland there. Just turning him. Here is Lokonga now. Lokonga to Clark. Clark down this left-hand side to Doughty. Doughty has it, but he's offside, and that's frustrating. And it's a Manchester United free kick just down in front of us. Earlier, Sheffield United was stuffed 5-0 by Brighton. So it means that they remain on 13, Burnley on 13, Everton on 19, Luton on 20, and then there's that 4-point gap then between Luton and Crystal Palace on 24 and Nottingham Forest on 24. Here's Onana clearing left-footed up towards Garnacho on the left. The two have swapped. Garnacho on the left now and Rashford is on the right. As Luton are fouled close to the halfway line. The referee says play on because Townsend picks up for the Hatters. Quite a lot of orange players in the penalty area now as Lokonga picks up. Lokonga will shoot, and just a bit too high, that strike from Lokonga, and the referee is going to book the player there for the foul in which he allowed play to go on. I don't know who it was actually.
Lindelof.
Was it Lindelof?
Yeah, Lindelof is fairly agricultural challenge over on that far side. Luke Berry coming on for Doughty.
So Luke Berry on to see if he can provide.
Well, he'll just look to
some assistance,
harry and hustle in that midfield area. But for all their possession, Luton, they've not carved out clear chances, have they, in this half?
No.
Crosses coming in, yes, but nobody on the end of them. I know there's no Adebayo, but the crosses have been too close to the goalkeeper. They needed to be delayed or a yard or two further back.
Yeah, just haven't quite been good enough in the final third in the second half, Luton. They still have 8.5 minutes left plus stoppage time as this ball is up towards Morris. Townsend heads further forwards. Clark trying to get on the end of it. Morris heads down but only finds Evans once again. Here's Obene. Lindelof has been booked, so Obene has possession. He's going backwards now, and then Lindelof almost catches him again. He gets away, Obene. In comes a cross, but it's straight at Onana, and Onana is very comfortable in dealing with those kind of balls in and around his 6-yard box. Smashes it away. Bell this time gets his left foot to his volley clearance, and it works well against Rashford. It was his right foot he tried last time.
Just got something on it, didn't he?
Having watched it back, that goal that Luton conceded, it was on his right foot and he tried to volley it back with his right foot. He should have just swung at his left and smashed it into the stand, but he tried to cushion it back with his right to his goalkeeper, and his right foot is not his best, of course, as Kaminsky plays this one now to Mengi to Osho. Osho is told by the crowd that he's got someone close to him. Luton have swung it out to the right-hand side. Obene needs to drive at Lindelof. Here he is on the halfway line, nudges it forwards to Townsend. Townsend's going to try and take on Lindelof. Townsend, little step over onto his left foot, looks back, goes backwards to Obene. Obene for Luton, only 2-1 at the moment, remember, is a crossing from Townsend. Evans is there again, just to head away. Hoyland's just holding off Osho, and then Osho just gets a foot around his body and touches it down to Bell. There is still time, and there is still a chance for Luton to grab an equaliser. Here's Townsend now. Townsend with a bit of space, looks up. What's he going to do? He's going to try a shot. It gets touched by Whitechurch, and it's a corner kick. And Luton Town are good from set pieces. You don't need me telling you that, because you know Luton fans. But from set pieces...
But who's going to take it? Nobody seems to know, because Dowdy's gone off. Luke Berry.
Luton cause problems from set pieces. Just one defeat in 7, the Hatters, as they look to get an equaliser here. And it's Luke Berry who's going to take this in-swinging corner. Manchester United have every player in the penalty area. Berry smashes this one in, and it's headed away by that man Evans again. Inspired substitution at half-time. Here's Morris now, outside the box. Morris just goes backwards to Obene. Obene for Luton, just retaining possession, trying to think of his options. Morris is going to clip this one in, headed away by Fernandez, helping out that defence. Here's Garnacho, and it's Garnacho versus Bell, a one-on-one. Garnacho taking him on. He's got Rashford on his right, but he's not going to find him, as Lokonga's going to pick up, and Rashford will be disappointed with that. Here's Lokonga against Garnacho. He'll easily get the better of him. Garnacho, just a youngster. Here's Townsend now. Obene's outside of him. The crowd want it given to Obene. Obene receives it now. What's the final ball like? Obene, left-footed strike, and over the bar it goes from Obene, and it's just not going near that goal enough. They're going to bring on another substitute, Manchester United. I think it's Amrabat who's going to come on. And United are forced into a change, and it's going to be the 2-goal striker who's coming off, Hoyland, and they're going to load up that midfield side with Amrabat on.
Looks like it, doesn't it? Hoyland coming off, because they still pose a threat with Rashford and and Garnacho with McTominay just behind, and Fernandes, of course. But Højlund getting a good round of applause. His goals may yet settle it still. 2-1 up, that brace in the first 6 minutes. But again, that was a great cut inside from Bennett, because Lindelof is going to stand off him. But he's got to work the goalkeeper from there. There's a lot of shots just gone over. He's not really had a serious save. Well, one serious save was the block from Fernandes, and he was able to make that save, wasn't he? Onana.
Goal kick, again they're taking ages, again they're going to play it short, but Onana not taking any risks this time, launches it up towards McTominay, who heads down, but only to Amari Bell. Amari Bell for Luton, just goes down his left and then cuts back inside and goes backwards to Kaminski. We've got just over 4 minutes to go at the Kenny, plus stoppage time. Ball up towards Morris, good layoff from him. And then Townsend finds Barkley. Barkley will just nudge forwards to Bell. Bell for Luton Town, strides forwards. Clark's overlapping. He's going to play it towards Morris, but Morris wasn't expecting it. And United can clear up again towards Rashford. Rashford versus Osho, and Rashford's got the better of Osho, but coming across the cover was Barkley. Osho pulls him back, and that's going to be a yellow card for Osho, but that's a good one to give, because otherwise Rashford was going to get away there.
Yeah.
So Osho booked.
Well, that's what he should have done last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, take one for the team.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Lukonga man of the match from the sponsors. Yeah. And would absolutely agree.
Yeah, rightly so. Morris for me in the first half,
yeah.
But Lukonga's second half has been outstanding. And so deservedly wins man of the match. Morris not far behind, and Barkley, as ever, is in the running, as he always is. Free kick, Manchester United inside the Luton Town half. We've got 3 minutes to go now. 2-1 United lead. Fernandes hooks this ball into the box. Varane is there, but there's a offside flag up. And so Luton have a free kick, and they're going to have to get a move on to get this equalising goal. It's still a possibility. But United's defence has, to be fair, done well in this second half, and has survived the mini onslaught that they've had. No Adebayo, which has been a real shame. Here's Fernandes, ball clearance from Kaminski. Fernandes, just wide of the far post. Another huge chance for United. Fernandes could have wrapped it up there, but he's just knocked it the wrong side of the far post, and Kaminski gets away with it.
Well, he did there, actually, Kaminski. I mean, he deserves a bit of luck, but they're sort of playing it short, aren't they, out from the back, and Kaminski gave it straight to Fernandes, and Fernandes was in, went for the far corner, and only just wide. That would have been a shame for Kaminski, but they're trying to overdo it inside their own penalty area and nearly got caught there.
2 minutes to go. 2-1 is the lead. Luton still in it. Townsend, they probably shouldn't be. Townsend picks up, still has it, Townsend, and now we'll feed it out to Obene. Obene one-on-one against Lindelof, curls in early, headed away by Johnny Evans again, and down it goes to Fernandes. If United don't win this game, Erik ten Hag will be absolutely seething. Here's Garnacho crossing towards the edge of the area, and there's that man Lukonga again helping out his defenders. Kaminski again rolls out, this time he does find Obene, and Obene goes backwards to Lukonga. 90 seconds to go. Luton trailing 2-1. Osho forwards to Clark. Clark just getting himself into a bit of bother. Amrabat behind him. Clark retains possession and feeds it to Lukonga. Lukonga now on that right-hand side for Luton Town. Play up towards Townsend. He's got some space. Gives it to Obene. Obene on that touchline. It's been a great Premier League game, though. As infield, this one goes to Clark. Clark just forwards up to Berry. Berry just trying to find Townsend. Doesn't quite find him. Lindelof is there. Lindelof just don't need to foul him there. His clearance is a poor one, and it only finds Obene. Obene gives it to Clark. Clark back to Obene. Now to Barkley. Barkley, can we see some magic from him? Trying to spin away from Amrabat. Barkley still has it. Now Osho. Osho to Bell. Bell, left-hand side, looking to cross in. It comes off the defender, Dallo, and goes behind for another corner kick. What Luton really need is that ball to fall to Barkley in and around the penalty area. That would be the chance that I'd like to see in these final moments.
Well, Evans has won everything, hasn't he, in the area? The balls they've been like a magnet, haven't they, to his head? Let's see if he might just miss one.
Corner kick, Luton. 2-1 down. Berry's delivery doesn't beat the first man. Poor clearance though. Obene is there. Obene runs into Amrabat, but Amrabat got the block in and didn't foul him either. Only 4 minutes of injury time, and the fans aren't happy with that. That's a terrible bounce back from Garnacho, and the ball is out of play for a throw in. 4 minutes, it's normally always more than that. Here is Townsend, seems harsh, although we haven't seen any physio in this second half.
There's been substitutions, haven't there? Though 2 of United's were at the start of the half.
There's been a bit of time wasting from United.
Yeah.
But the crowd unhappy with just the 4 minutes, and we've had 30 seconds of it. Here's Barkley. Is it going to be defeat for Luton against Manchester United? Ross Barkley trying to work his magic. He's going to easily go beyond Rashford, who doesn't even bother putting in a tackle. It's now with Lokonga. Lokonga to Clark in the box. Clark versus Amrabat. Clark still has it. Clark, little Cruyff turn, and he wins his team a corner kick. Good work from Jordan Clark. This one needs to be better from
Berry.
Berry.
Needs to be much better delivery from Luke Berry. First one was good, second one was awful. Needs much better delivery.
Into stoppage time at Kenilworth Road. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. Berry's corner kick, far post it goes, nobody there, it's headed away by Dallow. He probably didn't need to do that, I think it would have gone out of play, but anyway, here's Obene. Obene looking to run down that right hand side, wins his team a corner kick, an outswinger this time over on the far side. Is this equaliser coming for Luton Town, or are they going to have to accept defeat in the Premier League? 1.5 minutes of stoppage time has been played. Luke Berry over on that far side to take it. The Hatters have near enough everyone in the box. In comes the delivery. It's a good one, headed away by Johnny Evans again. There's Bell. Bell doesn't win the ball, and Garnacho picks up for United. Garnacho attacking that left-hand side, feeds it into Fernandez, gives it back to him, Rashford flicks on, here's Garnacho. Garnacho looks to shoot, wins his team a corner kick, and that is going to waste precious Luton time, and they will be in absolutely no rush whatsoever here.
Lokonga again back there to make the block. What a game he's had. But yeah, from that corner, as it was being taken, Morris came across to the referee because he looked up at the scoreboard and he said, you could see him going, 4 minutes? How's it only 4 minutes? And the referee was explaining, and Morris was pointing at the 6-yard area saying, well, they've been taking an age over goal kicks.
Yeah.
But second, they should be home and dry by now, United, with the chances they've had this half.
They've taken a short corner, and it's with Fernandez. Low ball in from him, goes straight at Kaminski. And Kaminski's going to roll out to Obene, who's on this left-hand side now. Last chance saloon for Luton. We're almost heading towards the final minute of added on time. As Obene, a tired-looking Obene, gives this to Clark. Clark, the substitute, just tries to play a ball in that penalty area. Here's Barkley now. Barkley turns away from Amrabat, gives it to Obene. Obene for Luton. Obene goes on the outside. It's another corner kick as it comes off Dallow, and this is likely to be the last chance for Luton. Is Kaminski going to come up? He's had a quick look across to the bench, but he's staying in that centre circle. Is Thomas Kaminski. I think they might be concerned about the counter-attack, but
a few more need to come forward. There's hardly anybody showing any interest at the moment.
Kaminski's not going in there. No. 30 seconds on the clock. Berry to take this corner kick. In comes a delivery from Berry, headed towards goal, hits a crossbar, and it was Barkley who had it. It was almost the perfect ending, and Barkley's glancing header hits the crossbar and stays out. That's the chance, and it hasn't gone in. Barkley so close, and that's the end of the game pretty much.
Just the top of the crossbar, wasn't it? Couldn't quite find the back of the net. Just clipped the top of the bar. Always going over, I thought, because it just clipped the top of the bar rather than hitting the bar full on. But they've had a right go.
Again, it's not quite been good enough, but the Luton supporters are right behind their team because they know how much work they put into this. There still might be one last go as Morris curls one out to this left-hand side. Jordan Clark picks up with play time. Clark still has it. Clark still going. Smashed it across goal, and Evans is there and stops what was probably a certain goal because Berry was at the far post. It's a clearance, not great. Amrabat whacks away. The full-time whistle is blown, and Luton Town have been beaten by 2-1 by Manchester United. A couple of chances right at the end, but United just about held on. And to be fair, to be truthfully fair, they do deserve it. They've had so many chances in this second half. Ross Barkley is furious. I think he thinks that Clark should have played him in there. But Clark still got that cross in, and it was Johnny Evans to clear it. But Barkley is distraught that he wasn't played in.
Yeah, I can see what John Clark's trying to do, and in fairness to Clark, he didn't really have a shot. It was a short shot come cross, and it was on the deck as well. And too many of the crosses have been in the air, actually. They needed a few more on the deck because Johnny Evans has won so many headers, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Anything in the air, Evans has headed away, and it just needed that little. I thought Clark did the right thing there. Just put it into the mix. It might get a deflection. I know Barkley wanted it back, but I would defend Clark there. But they've put the pressure on. They've not exactly laid siege to the United area, but Onana's not exactly made save after save after save, has he? I mean, United have defended very well in the second half, having made those changes at half-time. But Erik ten Hag realised that they had to make those changes. He had to take Maguire and Casemiro off because they were on cards, but also because Maguire was getting twisted and turned left, right and centre, and Evans was much more of a calming influence for Manchester United. Although, as you said, United have had, 4 good chances to put the game to bed in the half. On the counter-attack, admittedly, but on another day they'd win 4-1 probably.
Yeah, they've given it another right go, Luton Town, like they always do and like they always will, but just not quite decisive enough when they got the opportunities in that final third. It's difficult, you're up against top-class defenders. I mean, Rafael Varane is European class, and Johnny Evans has done a brilliant job, and then Onana is a great goalkeeper too. Just not able to fashion those chances, and United had plenty in that second half to finish this game off. But it's another great performance from Luton. They're not letting anybody down, and like we keep saying, they're giving it a right go as Rob Edwards just strolls across to the Kenny end, and he'll get a standing ovation, the manager, because the crowd know a team that put absolutely everything into it. Not quite good enough. It's been the story a few times this season, but it's still a good performance from Luton Town, and Rob Edwards thanks those Luton supporters. Now, Luke, we've been here before with a lot of the top sides who've played here. Luton have put in another good performance, but not quite good enough.
Yeah, great shift. And when you look at the 90 minutes, you can look towards the disappointment of giving away a soft goal with Bell's back pass or fluffing his lines early on. But at that point, I think Simon said it during commentary. I thought when the second goal went in, goodness me, this could be a hatful for Manchester United, because Luton did not look on it at all.
No, they weren't at the races at all in that first 10 minutes. I mean, they really were. They were poor, to be honest. Hadn't started it. It's been a recurring theme, great though it is that they come back and fight and do so well, and it's close and nearly but not quite, plucky Luton, but you can't keep giving teams 2 goal starts or a goal start. They've got to be switched on from the off. Okay, today mitigating circumstances in that Adebayo was a late withdrawal, but they were always chasing it from there. Now they've chased it manfully and had a right good go, but United, if they'd had anything like the finishing quality in the second half, would have put the game to bed much earlier. It's nearly but not quite, but they've got to start learning from those mistakes.
Absolutely, Jeff. Simon, super stuff. You'll hear, of course, reaction to that game at Kenilworth Road this afternoon via BBC Sounds. If you don't know how to access BBC Sounds, don't worry. Just follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at BBC Sport 3CR, and you'll be able to get all the interviews from every single Luton game. The interview with Rob Edwards, a reaction to this one to come, so sit tight for that one. From the entire sports team this afternoon and over this weekend. Enjoy what's left of this weekend, if you can, Luton fans. Brave fight, but nothing against United. Don't worry, it's Liverpool next.